Live from Hollywood at Genghis Cohen, it's the Nighttime Show! Tonight, our special guest, star of Tomorrowland, Girl Boss, and The Longest Ride, Britt Robertson! Our head writer, Matt Walker, and our host, the very special, the sublimely succulent Stephen Kramer Glickman!
Yeah, I am sublimely succulent. That is weird. That's a weird thing to say. Britt Robertson.
Hello.
Such an honor and pleasure to have you among us.
Come on. Thanks for having me.
You're a big star and you're here at the Genghis Cohen with us.
I wish I could sing so I could play this game too. I can't.
Right accent, though.
Was it close
solid.
enough?
That was great. It was terrific.
Thank you.
You have an enormous career for a very little lady.
Girl.
You are a very petite little
right.
lady.
All 5'2" of me.
All 5'2" of you, and you've been acting like almost your entire life, right?
I mean, it depends on what you consider acting, like, doing little plays in the living room.
I consider being in the Growing Pains reunion.
At age 13.
At age 13, acting.
Yeah,
That's
okay,
what I
well,
consider.
then, yeah,
You've
I've
been doing it for a long time.
Doing it for a bit.
Yeah,
it's
you
true.
really have.
I played Mike Seaver's daughter on the Growing Pains reunion, too. Wow. Not even the first one, but the second one. And I thought that was pretty cool.
Were all of the original cast back on it, or
yes, they were, except for Leo. Leo didn't make it.
He was busy.
It's stuff to do
On a yacht.
He had 14 models to have sex with.
That's right, exactly. There's a lot of
Can't quite
Victoria's
make it.
Secret models to get through.
Yeah, he
that
really
decade.
does. He's a lot of work ahead of him. Where are you from originally? Where did you grow
Well,
up?
I'll give you the layout here. So I was born in
everything.
Charlotte, South Carolina. No,
Charlotte,
North Carolina. Already messed this up. Was raised in Greenville, South Carolina, which is a beautiful town. It's nowhere close to a beach.
Very nice.
And that's
How many
about
people?
it.
How many people in that town, you think?
Greenville's
7.
no,
17
Greenville's
people. No, it's a
big.
decent
I'm just kidding. No, a lot of people.
Greenville's
A lot of
like
people
the
there.
second biggest city in the state.
Wow.
But the other place that I grew up in was Chester, South Carolina, and that had 6 stoplights. It was very small.
Oh wow.
Wow. That's amazing.
What's the big thing to do there for fun?
Walking is pretty big. People love to walk, preferably to the Walmart. People love walking to the Walmart.
Do you still go? Did you go to the Walmart when you were a kid?
Yeah, that was that's
That
like
was
the
the thing.
fun. You can like get a water gun, like some toys,
Vitamins,
medications,
medications.
It doesn't sound bad,
toothpaste.
actually.
It's not terrible.
Clothes.
Except for the walking part.
gun.
Walking's
I'm
rough.
out
I
there.
know, but
Yeah.
there's not that many places to walk to. It's not a huge walk.
Okay, so it's a block.
It's pretty
Okay.
minor, yeah. And I think my dad owned the only restaurant in that town. My grandfather owned the only clothing store in that town. My uncle owned the breakfast spot. Like my whole family just sort of capitalized on the fact that no one else is living there. So
And
we're
they've
just
gotta
They
eat.
own the town.
yeah, exactly. They've got
Wow.
What kind of restaurant was it?
a bar and grill. You gotta have some spirits.
Nice.
Yeah, and
that.
chicken fingers. Chicken fingers and spirits.
Chicken fingers and spirits.
That's
American
a really low-budget
tradition.
horror movie.
Yeah, right. Exactly. We can make that movie.
Chicken fingers and spirits.
People would watch.
They would.
Starring. Who would star in Chicken Fingers and Spirits?
Kirby.
Kirby Bliss
Well,
Blanton.
I'd like to
wants
see
to
it done
play.
as a buddy cop movie, and those are like
That
two
could be
cops,
fun.
chicken
Oh,
fingers
both
and
of you.
spirits. See, I would watch that movie
That
too.
could be our buddy cop movie, Curbs.
There you go.
The next
I
Lethal
spoiled
Weapon series.
our fun cast.
Oh yeah, we have a wonderful surprise. Kirby Bliss Blanton is here.
She's here.
She's a wonderful actress from lots of wonderful films.
And also my friend.
yeah, and you guys are very close friends.
Very
You're
close
saying the
friends.
star
she's
of
and we're gonna
Project
bring
X is here?
yeah Project X and
Green Inferno?
oh God, Green Inferno, which literally scared the shit out of me. But we're gonna bring her on later. And we'll
Yeah,
talk.
we'll
We're
talk.
gonna- we're
if you want
play
to
We're gonna
hear
get her in
more
here.
with Britt, we did a whole podcast with just her. Or I mean, with Kirby, we did a whole podcast with Kirby. I don't know, 6 months ago.
Yeah, and we talked about how absolutely terrifying Green Inferno was to me, and how I couldn't sleep for like
It's
3 or 4 days.
insane, but
Yeah.
also insanely amazing. Like
Have
the commitment.
Have you been in any horror films? Have you done any?
I have.
what
I'm
horror
like,
films have
what
you
are they again?
A Dog's Purpose.
A Dog's Purpose. Very scary film.
God.
know. That brings tears in a different direction. But no, dog's purpose. No, it is. There's a lot of
Mother's Day that terrified the shit out of me.
yeah.
Oh God!
I can't believe you took me to see that movie.
Look, first of all,
Stephen,
Yeah.
will you tell the Mother's Day story?
That baby in Mother's Day scared
Okay,
the shit
now
My
out of me.
hang on a
baby?
second.
My baby?
no, listen.
Yes, your baby.
Because she was so big and had.
Yeah, look.
Your baby had something wrong with her, right?
What do you mean?
Matt,
Don't tell me these things.
Hang on a second.
I only saw the back of her head.
Okay, listen. I took my friends
Okay.
to go see Mother's Day.
Why?
Because
You guys' mom?
Because he hates us.
No, I love
Kids.
No, well, first of all, I've taken Matt to every single one of Gary
Marshall's movies.
All
Sure.
those like
Super sweet.
yeah, like Mother's
The
Day,
bad ones.
Valentine's
Yeah,
Day,
gotta see 'em.
New Year's Eve. Well, I was obsessed with them because
Okay.
there's
I buy
so
it.
many people in it, and they're all super famous. Even the extras are famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they do really weird shit with people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they hold on to a shot for like too long
Yeah.
repeatedly. Like there's a moment in Mother's Day.
Why not? Just
well, then
exploit
I
us
took
in our worst moments.
Oh, well, I took my mom to see Mother's Day, and I took my mom to see Mother's Day on Mother's Day.
Sweet.
And she laughed like the entire way through the movie. She thought it was like the funniest
What?
thing she'd ever seen. Well,
It's
there's like
confusing.
she really enjoyed. There's
But-
moments.
Terrible
that
humor.
You're
Tell her how
really
you-
great in that movie.
Yeah, of course I am.
Everybody else. There's lots of weird
It's always
moments,
this.
though.
This is. Do you know how often I get this? You're great, but everyone else. I'm like,
No.
how is that even possible
No.
that everyone
It is
else
the
just
best-
happened to be
best thing in a
terrible?
bad
We were gonna
movie.
wait to talk about this till
Okay.
later in the.
Well, we're
episode.
doing
Wait,
it now.
Talk
Steven.
about how you pitched it to everyone else in the viewing party, though. Do you remember this?
No, I don't remember.
Where you you told your sister and them about the Mother's Day movie, where you were like, "Mom, we're gonna go to a movie tomorrow."
Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. Do you know what kind of movie we're going to? No. It's about Mother's Day. Oh my God, that's fantastic!
Oh my God.
And just watching the faces of the rest of the family
Yes,
drop.
Paul.
as
Yes.
Like, everyone else in my family was
And
like,
she's just getting more and more
no.
excited.
Yeah,
My mom
yeah.
goes- my
And
mom
everyone
goes-
else is,
my
like,
mom goes,
banging their
Well,
heads.
who's in the movie? I go, Julia Roberts. Oh my God, I love her.
Amazing.
Guess who else is in it? Who? There's no one better than Julia Roberts. Jennifer Aniston.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my God! You can just see her face
Amazing.
exploding.
Yeah.
It's not happening. I can't wait. And
God,
then
this
we
is the
went,
best.
And she laughed the entire way.
Did she
Especially,
enjoy when Jason Sudeikis fell off the balcony?
Yes. well,
Because
Jason
who doesn't
Sudeikis-
love a good physical comedy moment?
when he falls off the balcony?
Yeah.
You were
that's
rapping
not
when
the-
he was.
That is not the
Wasn't he
funny
rapping
moment.
when they were doing
Absolutely
it?
not.
He's rapping.
It's the mic drop.
He's singing Humpty Dance.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he does, and he falls off the balcony, and you're like, okay, that's a weird thing to do. That's not the moment that I
No.
love. The moment that I love is after he's fallen off the balcony.
Yeah.
The camera pulls back,
Yeah.
and a small child starts breakdancing
Yeah.
in the room, and they hold on that shot for like way too long.
No, you've got to. You've got to. I mean,
Yeah.
a little kid breakdancing. Come
you're
on.
like,
That's
what?
like love for the masses.
I love it so much, and you're like, why is a kid dancing?
What's
right now?
happening?
And then the
Yeah.
other moment that I love so much is the clown, when the clown comes out and
I
then
don't
talks.
think I
Played
got
by
to that
Matt
part.
Walker.
Played by Matt Walker, who wrote the film, and he tells
A different Matt Walker than this Matt Walker. But
Yeah.
not this Matt Walker,
Yeah.
but a different the redhead.
kinda
he's
similar
not a
to you.
redhead. He
Yeah.
does. He's a clown. He comes
Yeah.
out in a clown, and he tells Jennifer Aniston that she should like stick around and like stay with her husband,
Sure.
or stay with her, like that she's gonna be okay.
when
Yeah,
you can
'cause
get
she's-
life
doesn't
advice from a
have-
clown, you got to take it.
Yeah. No, you got
Also,
to do
that
it.
Matt Walker.
It's a great moment.
That
No,
Matt
I
Walker
haven't
was
seen
an
it.
actual clown in the Ringling Barnum Bailey Circus because he went to clown college with Allegra Barnett, who's a comic that we know.
Do you just
Wow.
Google all Matt Walkers?
No, well, I do,
Yeah.
but
No, he does.
when I met this one comic, I don't know, 12, 13 years ago, she met me, and at first we were both signed up on this comedy show. We were going to be doing stand-up together. She thought I was the other Matt Walker. So she showed up there because she went to clown college with this other Matt Walker,
Oh my
and
God.
then she told me
what?
the story.
Your life, dude. What is it?
It's
What's going on?
Running in circles. I know somebody that was in the movie, too. Some girl in my acting
Who?
class was in
Tell me your name.
Adriana Gonzalez. She
yeah.
played...
Besties.
Yeah.
No, I have no idea.
She played like Julia Roberts' business manager
Brit-
or whatever.
I
She's
do.
over there.
Actually, I had a scene with her. So,
Yeah.
yes, I did meet her. Yeah.
Yeah. But she was on
Cool.
Gary Marshall's softball team, which is why she's in all those movies that he does.
You know, he still played softball like up until the very end.
Yeah.
Gary Marshall. He's like a lover of
That
the
was
ball.
like a big
Was
thing
he
for him.
was he like the nicest guy in the entire
the
world?
nicest guy in the world. He directed a movie, or I'm sorry, no, his son directed a movie that I was in when I was 13. And it was called Keeping Up with the Steins.
Oh, yeah, of course.
I wasn't Jewish, so I didn't totally get it. But I had never been to a bar mitzvah
what are you doing,
or bat
Steven?
mitzvah. That's so loud. Are you watching a baseball game?
No. It's the trailer for Mother's Day started playing on my phone. It does that
Holy
every
shit,
day in
Steven.
the middle of the afternoon.
Oh, man.
It just does.
The trailer
That's
for
the
Mother's
hard
Day
life.
plays every day.
Can you turn that off?
I did. I turned it off. I'm sorry.
Steven,
it
you're
just
at a
doesn't-
podcast.
My phone. Look, it's not an iPhone. All right. It
There's
just does.
ghosts.
There's ghosts in the phone. Chicken fingers and ghosts.
Yeah.
I've
That's
never
what it
seen
was.
anyone heckle themselves on a podcast.
Son of a bitch. These are my friends. Britt.
Kinda.
I'm so
Yeah.
sorry.
We're trying to help.
I
They're
know.
nice.
No.
They reported to me on the movie I didn't see, Mother's Day, and I thought someone had given them bad acid.
Yeah,
They tried to
no.
describe the scenes to me.
No,
They're
it's
like, there's
real.
a clown
There's
and
a lot
okay.
of stuff happening.
Was
breakdancing
there
babies. And
was there an actual baby that you held in the movie, or was it like a doll?
No, this was not like that movie with Bradley Cooper where he had like a fake doll throughout. Even though that was a
Right.
much better film. American Sniper, was that
Yeah.
that?
Yes.
No, we had a real baby.
Whose baby?
So the
Has that baby been checked out by a doctor? Because I think it should be.
they got the baby from
It has something going on
Hey,
with it.
Matt, we're having that baby on the podcast.
But by
in
the way,
3
that
weeks.
baby is probably like a good 3 years older now, or like so that baby was like a year. So that the kid's
If
like
it made it
3
this
now.
long.
Stop it.
My God.
Stop
Matt,
it now.
stop it!
You know they actually chose that one. She's a twin, obviously. They have to always
They
get-
casted that
yeah,
baby,
Remy.
They
Remy
got that
was the
baby
one
from
we
Central
used.
Casting.
Remy.
Remy and Charlie, and they were the daughters of one of Gary's friends.
Yeah, no, for sure. That makes
Nepotism in
Duh.
Hollywood.
Well, nepotism. That's all he knows is nepotism.
sense.
I remember at his funeral, I went to well, not like they had like a celebration of his life, like on the like a year after his death. It was on his birthday, and I think that's like one of the things that they kept quoting is like Gary Marshall really knew how to take nepotism to the next level, and it's true. But
Yeah.
like I remember being there and literally the people that he would come that came out to like tell stories and like they had Bette Midler singing in the arms of an
Jeez.
angel at the very end.
my
They had like because he sponsored so many colleges and so many programs and stuff, and they had like the marching
If he sponsored
band.
dogs, it would have been Sarah McLachlan singing that song.
Right?
but-
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been.
No, but who wants that? I turn that channel every time because
Yeah.
come
Depressing.
on, why would you?
It's
how can you
it's-
do
By the way,
that?
Comedy
But wait,
Central
hang on.
shows that nonstop.
Stay on the. We're on
Okay.
the funeral.
I know something really exciting.
Tangent.
And informative. No, but it was like the most I didn't even cry because it was just like the most beautiful 3 hours I've ever spent in my life. But like the people who were there telling these amazing stories about this man who's lived like 80 years and has, been in the business for so long.
And he was a legend in this business.
Do you know
he'd
he
been
had
around
Vin
for.
Scully? Do you know who Vin Scully is?
Of
The
course.
announcer for the Dodgers, who's now not announcing for the Dodgers
Yes.
anymore. But he had Vin Scully announcing his like softball videos that they played at his funeral.
hilarious.
That's awesome.
How crazy
God.
amazing is that?
That's
Yeah.
like
insanity.
that's how legendary he is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing. And
Yeah.
that set must have been like a lot of fun. Did you guys have an idea of what was happening
No,
while you were doing it, or
no, you just walk on, and there's like 8 comedians around him, and they're like, "Try this bit, try this bit, try this bit." And I'm like, "I'm gonna try the bit where we keep the kid quiet, and then we'll see what happens."
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my God, because you had the kid with you.
I had the
whole
kid
time.
like attached.
Did it
She
make
really
you?
liked me.
Did it make you want to have
Kids? No. I mean, I don't really think about having kids,
Yeah, 'cause-
so
no, you're.
I'm
young.
kind of
You got
young,
time.
sort
Yeah,
of.
you're young.
No, it didn't really make me want to have kids or think about wanting to have kids.
You're one of seven kids in your family.
Yeah, I'm good on the kids.
Wow. Yeah, you
Yeah.
got enough kids.
Where
Were you
do
the
you come? Were
youngest?
you?
Oldest.
Oh,
You're the
wow.
oldest. What?
yeah.
So you had to
Oh,
babysit
yeah, you don't need
everyone?
to have kids
Definitely had
anytime
enough.
soon.
Yeah. My sister, who's just turned 23, had a kid. And she just had a kid. And I went back to South Carolina to, like, make sure she was okay because I'm the older sister. And I had to make sure that, like,
Yeah.
I actually took care of the baby because I was the mature one in the family.
Yeah.
And then it made me realize, like, oh, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
people actually have kids and they're functioning and they're, they figure it out. I have no interest in doing that. I'll leave that to all my other younger siblings.
Yeah.
And then I'll see what they do, take all that info and put it towards something
How old is your youngest sibling?
later. I don't know. People always ask me this, like, what's the oldest? What's the youngest? I'm like, who cares? I'm like 9, 8, somewhere below 10, maybe 10.
Do any of them want to be? Do they all want to be actors?
None of them.
None
One
of them?
is like directing plays in college, and that's kind of cool. But I don't think she cares to be an actor. Maybe. I don't
How
know.
many boys? How many girls?
3 and 3, and then me.
Have any of them flown out here to come spend time with you, or go with you to like movie premiere things like that?
They don't
do you do
care.
that?
They hate
Really?
it. No, I mean,
They're in South Carolina. They don't want
they're
to do
just
that
like,
stuff.
leave me alone. No, I think my one sister flew back with me just recently, but all she wanted to do was like be at Universal all day, and that's like my nightmare.
Yeah.
So we just had to VIP that shit all the way and like
Hell
get
yeah.
out quick. And they just want to be at like a theme park mostly when they're here, and I can't be doing all that. So
Yeah.
That
they
gets
don't
real
get to
old after the
come
first
anymore.
6 months of living here.
Yeah. I'm just not that girl. I'm not that girl who's like willing to stand in line for 3 hours for that one ride that'll last 45 seconds. Like, I just can't do it.
I haven't been to Universal Studios since my 9th birthday, which is when the original King Kong opened that summer.
Yeah.
Don't
the one
tell
that
anyone
burned
that.
down and got replaced with the 3D thing.
You're just
Weren't you all
aging
kind of
yourself.
happy when King Kong
Matt
burned
Walker
down?
is 87 years old.
No, but
He's
by the way,
oldest
I am as
person
old
I
as
know.
Stephen Glickman looks. That's how old I am.
that sounds like way more entertaining than what it is now. Now it's like you're on a bus and you're going through Fast and the Furious, but
Yeah.
nothing's happening. They're just
Yeah.
telling
Just a
you this
movie screen.
stupid story
Yeah.
about Fast and the Furious.
Do they
and
still
you're
do
just like, what is
the
happening?
Jaws coming up to eat the tram?
They
I
do
guess.
still do that. They do still do that.
Took
Did they
an
still do the thing where you
opportunity
can
to
ride ET's bicycle? That was cool.
No.
No,
Oh,
they
no.
replaced that with the Mummy.
Oh.
Who
That's so
wouldn't rather
lame.
hang out with the Mummy?
And
than
they haven't
ride
had
his
Battlestar
bicycle?
Galactica.
They
in
didn't know the
30
Mummy was
years.
going to
They don't
fail.
even. People don't even know what that is
They
anymore.
had-
They
How could you
knew.
not know?
They set it up years in advance, being like, "We're doing a Tom Cruise
This
remake
movie
of
is
The
gonna be
Mummy.
so awesome."
Yeah.
Everybody's going to want to be on the Mummy ride in a couple years," and then bam, they
Well,
lost
you
$64
know,
million.
going to
I
Going to
love the dream
Universal.
of a Hollywood executive going, they're all going to want to be on the Mummy ride in a couple
Foreign
years.
tourists are going to come over and want to be on the Mummy ride, though. 'Cause it did good overseas, that movie.
When
It's
I-
true, but
when I was
not
a
so
kid-
well domestically.
I went to Universal Studios when I was a kid, and they had it divided up into 4 parts. There was you could do the outer space thing where they would put you like they
In
only
outer
picked
space.
up they only picked up a few people out of the
What?
crowd, but they put you into a spacesuit, and then they'd take you up into the air and move you around by the stars, by these like fake stars, and that was like one thing that they would do.
Beautiful.
The other thing they would do, if you were a kid, they'd put you on the ET bicycle, and you could be the kid that flies with the ET,
Okay,
and they
I remember
show you
that.
how green
Yeah.
screen worked.
Sure.
And then they had a Foley artist, and you could be a Foley artist where you'd go and you break glass, like step on rocks,
Sure.
and you do this,
Yeah.
and you'd have to do
That's
it in
cool.
time with the stuff. And I remember as a kid seeing that and being like, oh, this is how movies are made. So if I just like snuck off the bus, I could just be in the movies. Like I did.
Sure.
It just to me it was like I was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
Did they have the
And it was
Keystone
like-
Cops thing
No.
where they insert you with the Keystone Cops?
Oh.
And they have people like it's like a stage show, but then it's also filmed stuff, and then they do it, and it's like a silent
Oh,
film.
Was that-
Oh, that's cool.
That's how long ago I was at Universal.
Yeah.
That was a long. I remember that era.
Oh my
Now they
And
have
I was there
like
when they
animals.
had
in
Kit
that
from
section.
Knight Rider. You could sit in the car and talk to it.
And
And I was
ask
very
questions.
disappointed because I waited an hour to sit in the car, and it didn't sound like Kit from the TV show. And I was like, "This is bullshit."
Did you tell them? Were you like, "This sounds nothing like Kit from
I
Ghost
didn't
Rider"?
complain.
I
I
don't even
don't
know what this reference is.
Knight Rider.
Like, what is this reference?
I love that you just
Yeah,
that you
doesn't
just totally just tried to cover that you
Sure.
didn't know.
I have no idea what
you
I'm
don't have to
talking
know.
about.
You know-
I'm
Knight Rider
wrong.
is a talking car.
You know David Hasselhoff,
David
right?
Hasselhoff.
Yeah.
Was that one of his gigs?
was
One of
the-
his mini
That's how he
freaking
got
gigs?
famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
That's-
Oh, by the way,
That's when they first started liking him in Germany. Was
Wait,
because
what
of
was
Knight
the
Rider.
question you asked the car?
holy shit, we've
I
gone
asked,
so
where is
far
Bonnie?
off topic. This
Why?
is just-
Why not? Why? We should.
You know what I asked Kit when
What?
I got in it?
What?
I asked, "Is your show still on?" And it went, "No."
Well, at least he's honest. He knows how to tell the truth.
Yeah, he was very succinct though. Just no.
No.
Yeah,
Like
I just
that.
asked her where
Now get
Bonnie
out.
was because I liked her from that show, and she wasn't there.
Oh, dear
Give me the
God.
girl.
Yeah.
Hey, so I as always, we always have Fireball whiskey with us whenever we tape an episode of our show. We had the Kaplan twins on. We gave them a bottle. We give bottles away a lot to people. Sometimes
It's good stuff. People like it.
People love that stuff. I actually have a bottle with me right here, and I'm gonna drink some of it. But if you listen when I open the top of this bottle, you can hear in the bottle. You can hear the Fireball whiskey talking, and it's
You can't hear Fireball
talking.
talking.
You totally can. Hang on, let me take the lid off. Ready?
Ayoga, the man. I could be the man.
There he
I'm
is.
gonna be the man today.
That's the
We're
sound.
gonna have fun.
That's the sound of the Fireball whiskey inside the bottle.
It's like encouraging you.
It does. Hey there, Fireball whiskey.
Hey, man.
Hey, I'm so excited. I can't wait to drink you.
Man, stick it. Get rid of all this small talk. Just drink me already so I can have some fun in your
All
tummy,
right,
bro.
get in my tummy. Get in my tummy.
Well, make it happen. Oh, yeah, here we go.
Oh yeah. Oh. How is it down there?
Oh, my goodness, dude. It's so cool down here, but, dude, what the hell did you eat for lunch?
Oh.
Oh, my God. It
mean-
smells like dog shit down here, bro.
Oh well, hopefully that Fireball whiskey will make things smell just a little bit better in there.
I can't, I'm going to have to hang out in your stomach for a while and make it smell good. So,
Yeah, try.
keep drinking that shit, bro.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna drink a little bit more. Here we go.
Here
A
we
little
go.
more.
Yeah, we're having a party in Steven's stomach.
Drown out these
It's
horrible
awesome.
choices I've made.
Woo!
Oh, Fireball whiskey. Fireball, it makes you feel good and it makes your stomach smell better. All right, back to the show. So why did you want to get into acting?
Is that your segue back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like what? Because that was my segue was that's what made
that
me
your
want to get
cheap
into
segue?
That was
into
sweet.
business was being
it
at
was
Universal
better.
Studios.
Sure, that had another.
Sure.
Well, one of my first gigs when I was in South Carolina, I auditioned for this show called Sheena, Queen of the Jungle.
Oh, I know it.
Do you know it?
Yes,
Of course.
They still show it
Gina
Saturday
Gina Lee
mornings.
Nolan.
Gina Lee Nolan.
They show it Saturday mornings on Heroes and
Guys,
Icons. You can
that's
watch
really
it every
cool.
weekend if
That
you'd like.
makes me feel way more cool than I felt.
One of our
earlier.
previous guests did stunts on Sheena.
Really?
Neil Brown Jr.,
Wow.
who was DJ Yella in Straight Outta Compton.
That's so exciting.
That was like his first gig in show
Wow,
business.
I thought it was like a total,
But
one-off
that
that
was
I
a-
just landed.
That was
this
because she
part.
was on Baywatch,
Exactly.
and she was gorgeous at that time.
Super cute.
And then I remember watching that show. I was in college when that show was on, and I watched it.
Oh dear God. All right.
Interesting. So getting back to the point.
Yes.
No, but I did this. So one of my first auditions was to play. I don't know, something,
her
whatever.
sidekick.
No, not her sidekick. I wish.
could've been the Robin.
I don't think I was fully developed yet enough for that role.
You played Little Sheena.
I played
according to
Little Sheena.
IMDb.
So, but
Yeah.
I had an audition before that. I didn't get it. But then they offered me the Little Sheena role. And so
Little Sheena sounds like a Prince song, but that's
Yes.
keep going.
well, as long as it's about me, I'll take it.
Little Sheena.
Little Sheena. So then I went to Universal in Florida because that's where the lot that they filmed on. And after we had my day where I was holding little leopards and crying for my mommy, they took me onto the back lot of Universal and let me ride rides with my mom for free.
Whoa.
And that's when I decided I wanted to be a movie star.
Oh yeah.
Is
No,
that the
but-
episode where it's like a flashback and they show her as a kid?
Yes, that's
Because I think
me.
I watched that not that long ago.
Shut up.
In the last 3 months, I watched that episode.
That's me, dude. I didn't know how to cry on cue
So
yet.
wait, did
so
you
it was a
think
little rough.
every day at the end of the shoot they would take you to a theme park to ride rides?
That's right. That's right. I
That
was
would-
like, this
that
is
would
what the
motivate
big
me.
kids do. Yeah.
And how old were you then?
I don't know, 10, 9.
So from 10 years old on, was there ever a time where you just kind of re-upped as an actress? where you're
Re-upped, what does that mean?
When you're a kid, you're like, oh, I want to be an
double down on
actress.
Mm.
But where you double down, where you're like, no, I'm definitely doing this. Was there a
No.
job, or has that always stayed with you the whole way?
It's been a constant passion.
I don't think I've ever looked at it as a constant passion. I think I'm always should I be doing this? Should I go back to school? I've done the University of Phoenix thing, in the middle of Under the Dome. I was shooting the show, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go back to school. I'm going to go do business. And then I booked Tomorrowland, and I was like, I can't really stay in school. So I've like wavered, and I'm constantly like, I want to be. My agent went to a psychic recently, and the psychic told her that I was going to become a real estate agent. So that's also something I've been looking into.
So wait, your agent even gets fortunes told for you.
For me, that's how close we are. Yeah, she's like, what's wrong with Britt?
Well, the agent gets 10% of that fortune.
That's right. That's right.
No, so
No, she's going to fire me.
is
soon,
real
is what
estate
that
something
means.
you would want to do if you weren't acting? Like, what would you want to do?
I don't know, guys. This is too much pressure.
Karate.
What do you want to do with your life,
Yeah,
Britt?
exactly.
What do
You gotta make
I
decisions.
sound like my dad. Leave me alone. No, I don't know.
Clean your
I'm
room,
just-
Britt.
I'm just trying to keep acting while they'll let me, and then once they
While
figure
they'll
it
let
out,
me.
then I'm out skis, and I'll be like, I get it. The jig is up.
First of all, they're not going to figure fucking anything out because I watched you on one of my favorite shows of this past year, which was Girl Boss. Which is a fucking
crazy.
fantastic show. I am not a person, and they know this. These guys know this. I am not a person that binge watches shows.
Oh.
Like I will watch maybe 2 episodes at a
Yeah.
time, and then like 2 days later I'll watch another 2 episodes. I
Sure.
like spacing things out. I watched Girl Boss in one sitting from start to
What?
finish. I was totally obsessed with it. I thought you were fucking fantastic on the show.
That's nice.
And
Everyone else was terrible, but you were great.
Yeah.
no, everyone
There's
else.
no one else
No.
in the show. What are you talking
You know,
about?
actually, to be completely honest, everyone else on the show is really, really, really good.
Really
too.
good.
And like Ellie is fantastic.
Ellie.
Johnny Simmons, so
He's
talented.
all right.
He's good. You guys are really good together, though.
We're
on the
okay.
Show.
We could be better. They could have hired someone better for that part. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, I've actually known Johnny since I was like 12 years old.
Edit
so
that out of context.
We just have that. Yeah, exactly. Pull that and.
Pull that, send that to
please.
Judge Jared.
No, I don't care.
Headline.
I would always give him like really. I was going to say really big shits, but I don't think that's what I'm trying to say. I would always give him a lot of shit.
Sure.
And I
makes
give him
more
a hard
sense.
time, you know? And so I just find that to be like really funny. And I think that came off in the dynamic.
I really think so too. But
the
did you
show.
get to keep your wardrobe? Did you get to keep any wardrobe?
No. Are you
No?
kidding? They were like, hopefully, this wardrobe we can just keep on this lot forever at Netflix and somebody else is going to want it. And that's how they do you in these things. They think, that I don't know, they'll be able to reuse it and save money elsewhere.
But did you ask for the wardrobe?
No, I don't care. Do you see what I'm wearing? I'm a t-shirts and jeans kind of gal. You think
I
I'm going to wear
know.
5-inch platforms on a day-to-day? Not happening.
Hey, you know
It's
what?
tough.
When I finished doing the movie Storks,
Okay, let's hear.
at Warner Brothers,
You kept all the wardrobe.
I kept all
Wait
the
a minute,
wardrobe.
Stephen. You were in a
Did
movie?
you?
I was in an animated movie, and no, but when we wrapped, they had a giant mascot
outfit?
costume that they had made of my character, and they had it walking around at like the premiere, and I
What?
was like, "Hey, I want that.
Shut up.
I want to have it in my hat."
They gave it
my
to you?
place. And they were like, "No, we're not giving that to you." And I was
Okay.
like, "Oh, okay." And then on Christmas, they delivered it to my
What?
place
Giant
in a
crate.
giant crate.
Yeah.
And
now
it's in
his
my living room on
and
a
it
mannequin.
looks creepy.
Yeah, it's
So
too
if
much.
there's any wardrobe you want,
I
let
guess.
him
You
know
could
when
probably
your
wear
birthday
it.
is.
Probably could
It's
get
just
it.
not the fight I'm trying to
You could-
fight,
Are you
guys.
going to do a second season? Is there a second season coming of that show?
We don't know. We're
I
not
really
sure.
hope that there is. I love that show.
Yeah, it was super fun to do.
Oh, and you
So-
had Dean Norris playing your dad.
So
Love Dean Norris.
funny
Yeah, so
anecdote.
talented.
He and I did a show together 3 years ago called
Yeah.
Under the Dome, where
Based on the Stephen King story.
Yes, and his son kidnapped me and put me into like a shelter for the entire first season, and I had like maybe 2 or 3 scenes with anyone else, and those scenes were with Dean. And then 3 years later, Dean's playing my dad, and I actually really love Dean Norris. I
Great
don't know if
actor.
you guys are fans, but he's a really cool dude, and he's a sweetheart.
Did
And
you ask
he's
him anything
my
about
height.
Breaking Bad?
Oh, he's your height?
He's my
Really?
height.
My height.
Maybe a couple inches taller, but not much.
Yeah, I really liked that dynamic between you and him because
The fact that we're both really short.
Well, what I liked really
Is that really important to tiny people?
Yeah. Really important. We need to be like with our same people.
You don't wanna be the
suspected as
shortest.
much.
Yeah, never.
Yeah.
I liked that you guys pulled a relation like the relationship between the two of you guys of like someone who's like trying to like make their parent like proud, and no
Yeah.
matter what you do, they're still kind of proud, but they're not
think you
really.
suck
They
still.
kind of think you suck,
Yeah.
and like that is a fascinating. It was really well written and really well handled because you I see it a lot. Like you see it
Totally.
you
It's
see
just
that type
something
of
really
trope like
dark
on
about it.
Yeah.
yeah, like you see it in movies and on
Mm-hmm.
TV, and a lot of times it's kind of heavy-handed and not. But this one, you felt like he really cared about you,
Yeah.
and but he just didn't.
And he just couldn't get on board.
couldn't
Like
get
he
on
just
board
didn't know
with
how
it.
to relate to this girl who's like so different than and ultimately she's like a product of her mother, and like the mother I think is someone that he had to get away from that because it was an unhealthy person to have in his life, and then
Yeah.
to see like the spitting image of that woman like walking, talking your daughter, it's a little like how do I approach this thing?
Yeah, and wait, I'm sorry to interrupt, Matt, but I'm stuck on this.
Shut up, Matt.
I'm stuck on this.
Matt,
who
shut up.
Who played your mother on the show?
Why are you doing this to me? She's some famous Broadway chick that I always forget
hang
her
on.
name.
All right.
Look it up.
This is a Broadway chick. You should know her, Glickman.
It's my fault.
No, it's just because she was in Next to Normal, and her name's like what's her name? You don't know.
Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts. No. Can you imagine?
I'm looking for it. This is my fault for. She was on The Office.
Yeah. Okay. So apparently, see, I don't know a lot of Broadway. I live in LA. I just saw Dear Evan Hansen though, and that was da bomb. But other than that, I know nothing.
I thought you watched
about
every
Broadway.
episode, Stephen.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but she was only in one,
Oh.
and her name. By the way, I talk about her so much because I find her to be the most fascinating person on and off screen, and I still can't remember her name. I worked with this woman. It just doesn't make her name doesn't really stick to the face.
You were
know what
so
I mean?
in character.
right,
Yeah.
You
It was
think
so
of her
close.
as that character.
I know.
I'm gonna fix this.
You will just Google.
So when you
Next
worked with
to
Dean
Normal.
Oh,
Norris,
it's Melora. Is Melora?
Wrong.
No.
That's wrong. It's something really basic.
Laura's like a fantasy barbarian name. That can't be her real name.
All right. Well, let's just
We'll
pretend,
find it.
We'll just pretend we didn't ask that question.
Curbs, you Google it for me while we're still here.
so when you were working with Dean, did you ask him if he's going to be on Better Call Saul? Because if
Oh,
not,
I didn't watch Breaking Bad because I have like a thing about the popular shows, like Game of Thrones and Breaking Bad.
I understand. I've never watched Breaking Bad.
Yeah,
And I've
cool.
never watched Game of Thrones.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm right there with you.
There's something about walking into a room where everyone's like, "Did you watch Game of Thrones last night?" or "Have you seen the latest Breaking Bad?" where I'm just like, I want out now. It
get
seems
it.
like, this like crazy cult and everybody's in it, and I need to just not participate. Also because like I don't need that many spoilers in my life.
Yeah.
Like I get upset when people ruin Bachelorette for me. So I
Right.
can only imagine if it was like real content.
Yeah, I get that. What shows do you watch? Like, what are you into?
So there's Bachelorette.
Right.
I know. No, it's a lot, guys. It's a lot of reality television. It's a lot of, and I watch a lot of baseball. I'm a big baseball nerd.
who's your team?
The Mets. No, you can't laugh after.
Oh, I can
our
laugh after
sit.
last night.
Look, we were playing Kershaw, and are you kidding? We really came back, and we had like a lot of runs by the end of it. It was like 10-6.
Just 10-6.
Zach Wheeler's having
Is there
an off
anybody
day.
on the Mets that's not injured right now? Let me ask you that.
Jacob deGrom is not injured. Zach Wheeler is not injured. Wilmer Flores is not injured.
Is Warren Flores still crying?
Lucas Duda, he hasn't cried in a couple years, guys.
He hasn't cried in a couple of years.
Like,
he's a baseball.
Cespedes, he's
I felt
back.
bad for that guy when that happened because there was a thing with this guy Wilmer Flores. He played for the Mets since he was like 14 in the Dominican Republic, whatever.
yes.
He's been with the organization his entire career, and then there were like rumors he was going to get traded, and then
While
like,
he was still on the field
he was
playing
on
a
the
game.
field playing a game, and like this breaking story came out, and everybody
All
in the
over
stands
Twitter.
on their phones was like, "Wait a minute, Wilmer Flores just got traded," and like he gets word of it because he's like right there. And they're
Yeah,
probably
he's
yelling
in the
at him,
dugout,
and
yeah.
he starts crying while he's on the field.
Oh,
Because they
my
put him back in
God.
there. It's like
Yeah.
the 6th inning or something, and they're like, "This is your last game with the Mets," and he's like having to
Yeah.
go out there and play while he knows.
And he
he's been
starts crying,
traded.
and then
by
the
the way,
trade falls through, and he
yes!
doesn't even get traded.
He never gets traded, and he's still on the
Oh.
team, and he's been on the team ever since.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's like the best. But by the way, like my mom, who is now a huge Mets fan, after that moment, like shortly after that moment, but. It was all over the internet, and it was all over like every news station because there's no crying in baseball. But ultimately, that's like what the fans wanted. They wanted to see a player connect with their team so much that they're willing to just like lay it out all on the line
Really?
and like pour their heart out.
It sounds to me
Yes.
like Mets fans wanted to see a player cry. That's what it sounds
We
like. to
needed
me.
it. We needed to know they still care because we do too.
I get it.
We're diehards.
I'm gonna go through some of your credits.
By the way, I
Yeah.
love Chase
We-
Utley. I love that slide.
Shut up. Are you freaking kidding me? You took out Ruben Tejada with that
Yeah.
slide. All
Yeah.
right, keep going. Sorry.
All right, go back with us
Go back.
to the set of Growing Pains: Return to the Seekers.
All right.
Do you have any memories of being on that set? You were 12.
I
You were
do.
12 years old, right?
Yes.
Did Kirk Cameron try to indoctrinate you?
Yes. Okay, so there's so many things, guys. I can go through all of it.
Tell
Okay.
me.
I was
Please.
with my grandmother. We were in New Orleans because she traveled with me because I have a lot of younger brothers and sisters. And so she was traveling with me, and I remember like early on, I literally got the role off tape, which, you know, it very
Oh, yeah,
rarely
that never
happens.
happens.
And Joanna Hines, what was her name? Who's the mom? Kearns. She was directing the whole movie.
Oh, cool.
And sure. I don't think she had any experience.
Oh, no.
No, but I mean, whatever. Who cares? I was
All
14,
right.
13, whatever. So we get there, and I'm like doing the rehearsals, and all of a sudden they're like, I think we need to do more rehearsals. And like, so they literally would have me go over to Kirk's house that they rented in New Orleans with all of his kids and rehearse with him day after day after day before we started shooting because they wanted me to be more like Kirk was in the original. They wanted me to be like a young Kirk Cameron, like a young
Sure.
Mike Seaver, but a chick. And I was like just playing it the way I auditioned it, you know,
Yeah.
and I had no idea to how to give them what they want. So I did that day after day. And finally, at the end of shooting, Kirk was like, you should come to our church. You should be, yes. So my grandmother schlepped me out to like Santa Barbara, wherever the heck they go to church on a Sunday. Yeah, like
God.
8 a.m. because
Yeah.
the service starts at like 10. So it takes 2 hours to get over there. And she was like, we need to be going to this church every week. Kirk goes, they're dedicated. I was like, I can't do this trip. It is too long haul. There are too many kids. There's like huge screens. People are yelling. I wasn't into it, so we stopped.
He fired a friend of
People are
ours from that
yelling.
show back in the day.
What happened?
He's the one. He got Julie McCullough fired.
Oh, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, Julie McCullough
She's a
played
Scientologist?
his... No. Julie
No.
McCullough played his girlfriend on the show, on Growing Pains, on the original show. And then
hitting on
Julie
him?
McCullough...
She had done Playboy before she got the role.
yeah, she had
Oh,
done
shut
Playboy
up.
before
Which was
she
like
had
18.
gotten cast.
Yeah.
And then it started to like leak out. Oh, people were like, oh, by the
she's
way, that girl
salacious.
was also in Playboy. And he was like, well, I can't be
Involved.
with her. And they're like, you're not. It's your character. And
Yeah.
he was like,
And she's a cast member.
And he was like, well, I'm the most famous person on the show. I want her fired.
Cool.
And he not only had her fired, but he had her fired in the worst possible way.
Let's hear it.
They wrote that he would ask her to marry him.
Shut up.
So he asks her to marry him. She says yes. They plan this amazing wedding on the show, and at the finale of the season, they have the wedding, and she stands him up, and that's how they wrote her off.
Yes.
And
God,
so,
who
as
doesn't
a
love a man
child,
with power?
I grew up watching the show going, wow, that Julie was the worst
Yes,
person
yes.
in the world. And she was, like, hated by fans because they were like, oh,
How could
she's
she
the
do
worst. She
this?
stood up Kirk Cameron.
Yeah.
Like, but in real life, it was him getting her written out in the worst possible
Why wasn't that
way.
leaked?
I mean, people found out about it, but it was
But no one
pre-internet.
cares.
it was pre-internet, pre-Twitter,
Yeah, right.
pre-Facebook.
I don't know that life. No, I do.
You
I
were
do.
on. When you were in the movie Keeping Up with the Steins.
Yeah.
Do you remember any of that? I mean, you had Cheryl Hines. You had.
Oh, I remember a lot of it. Let me just
Jeremy
go through
Piven.
it with you.
Tell me a little bit of that.
No, so I was super young. That's where I met Gary Marshall for the first time because he was
he was in-
producing it
he was
for
in
his
it,
son.
too,
Yeah, and he
wasn't
was
he?
in it. I had scenes with him.
Wow.
And what's so cool about that is my favorite movie since the time that I was born. It was the first movie I ever saw. Was Pretty Woman, directed by Gary Marshall. And,
Of course.
And then later I went on to do a movie that he was directed.
Every young girl should
And Julia
want
Roberts
to be
played
a,
my mom.
a
Come on.
prostitute.
Shut up. What are you talking about? I didn't even
it was
understand.
about being a princess.
Exactly.
You was a prostitute.
It was well, yes.
It's how
but-
to make something out of nothing, bro.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, Jason Alexander was very creepy in that movie.
so
but
creepy.
aside
When he
from that,
slaps her, oh my god, come on! It makes me want to slap everyone always.
I know.
No, but I was like very excited to do that movie. I met like my first LA boyfriend on that movie.
What?
Yeah, Carter Jenkins. What? Who Kirby and I know. We went to the same school together with him. So then also Daryl Sabara, who was in Green Inferno with Kirby. Like we have a lot of
Oh, yeah.
interconnected relationships based on that film. What else do? I just remember that like when I would the movie was kind of produced by Gary, and so Gary has a lot of means and he has a lot of people, and So I remember him actually throwing, like, as the kickoff party and the wrap party, they would throw actual bar mitzvahs. And I had to learn part of the Torah for my bar mitzvah, which was, and I still know it, by the way.
It's very difficult.
Hava Yehamot Al Yehudad Virushahim Bing Bang. That's like literally how my part ends.
Nothing.
Bing,
by the way,
bang, yeah.
Nothing sexier has ever happened on our show.
Okay, cool. But I'm glad I could partake.
based on our experience, she might actually be a better Jew than you, Stephen.
That's a possibility.
Yeah,
That's
I
all
know
it
part
takes.
of the
Do you
Torah.
know what that part
Wow.
means?
Nothing, no. No one told me. I didn't care.
Well, I do know what Bing Bang means.
You do?
No, I'm totally
I'd love
sure.
to know. Bing,
I
bang,
think we all
bang.
know what Bing Bang means.
Then let's jump to what's the movie? What do you feel like? I feel like when I look through your history,
Credits.
when I look through your credits, the movie that stands out there's like two movies that pop to me where
Let's
I'm
hear
like,
it.
okay.
What could it be? My
It's the first one that I feel like is like a big one was Dan in Real Life.
God. Oh, yeah.
Because that was a
Yeah,
huge
big movie.
And I remember seeing you in that movie. Like that was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a big deal? Did you feel like it was a big deal?
Well, I remember at the time being like, cool, I'm in like a legit movie. And I was also like a huge Dane Cook fan at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Because what was it? Vicious Circle had just
Yeah,
come
that had
out.
just
and I
come
thought
out.
it
Did
was,
our
like,
live show
brilliant.
He was on our live show. He's been on our live show. This was
3 or 4 times.
No way.
Yeah, he's a close friend of ours.
I
He's
find
very
him
funny.
I think he's hilarious, and I was such a huge fan at the time, and so for me it was just a big deal to like be. I remember when I met him for the first time because I was like 15 and I couldn't speak. I like had a really hard time like even looking at him or speaking. But the whole point of that movie was that we had to create the family. So for like 6 weeks before we even started shooting this thing, we literally were in that house just like cooking with each other, telling stories, reading letters, and like trying to like faux bond, you know?
Yeah.
And
How was that?
it was fine. I mean, it gets a little old after a while when you're just like playing pretend with these people, you know?
Yeah.
It's kind of bizarre. And also, we didn't have Steve Carell until literally the day of shooting, so we had a fake Steve Carell.
Oh,
What?
was that
Like, what's the point?
Yeah.
who was,
You know?
who was
Like,
the fake Steve Carell?
I don't know. It was like his this guy who used to do improv with him somewhere in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure exactly how they knew him, but he sort of looked like him, so we had to just like pretend that it was him.
That's
And
funny.
then my first day of shooting, he's like, "Hi, I'm Steve. I'm playing your dad," and I'm like, "Cool, this is awesome." And you know, it's like a huge day for me where I have to say all of this stuff, and I'd never been on like a real big film before. But it's funny, the line that I'm most known for in that movie was this like murderer of love line, and where I like scream murderer of love. And I remember at the time being like, this is like my emotional scene, you know, like so serious about it, like headphones in, just like really focused on this emotional scene. And then when I saw the premiere, everybody started laughing during my emotional scene. And I literally was so shocked by like why people found it funny or like that people were laughing at my tears. And but now later on now that I'm older, people are like, oh, I thought that was like the most hilarious scene when you're like screaming at your dad, murderer of love. And like still to this day, I kind of get it, but I find it so hilarious that
still
at the
like, no, he
time,
was.
like, no, like this was traumatic for me. Like I gave everything in that scene
Wow.
and people just laugh like hilariously.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I
Well,
just
to
don't
your
understand
credit, though,
it.
it's that commitment that made people laugh.
Is that what it is?
That it is.
That
That
you're
is.
that
Yes.
passionate, because everyone remembers being that age where the
Sure.
stakes are that high on everything.
Yeah.
Sure.
And so it was
that was
like
my
you see a
reality.
lot of yourself in that.
Yeah,
And
right.
So
Well, I was
it's a good
literally
thing.
that 15-year-old
you know.
girl who was like crying over her boyfriends hysterically all day long every day.
We
so
were
like
all
for
that
me,
15-year-old
that's
girl.
that's just the life that I was living.
Yeah, totally.
And people just cracked up, and I was like, I don't get it.
I love that.
I don't understand comedy.
I think the other one, the one that I went to see, and this was after I had met you, was Scream 4.
Oh,
yeah?
shut
Saw
up.
you.
Okay,
Which
can
was
I have a really
a-
good story about
That's
that.
a great
Well, that
opening.
was like that was a great opening, but it was like the one where we saw you and we were like, oh shit, it's motherfucking Britt Robertson. We're like,
That's so
Because that was the
everyone-
one that opened with like a movie and a movie and a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we
How
went to
stupid.
we went to go see that as a cast, like the whole.
I saw it
Big
with
Time
you.
Rush.
No.
And
No.
I saw it with you
and me
at
went to
the
go see it too.
ArcLight.
Good thing I didn't know.
Yeah,
I
we
would
did.
have
Different time.
really
Yeah.
thought about
Yeah.
hanging up the old hat after that had I known.
I thought it was great.
Okay, but
tell me.
no, can I tell you what happened?
Tell me, please.
I basically got fired. So this is so originally like my whole scene. I was like working on a show and I was like super nervous because it was like Wes Craven and whatever, and I was in the middle of working on the show Life Unexpected, and they were like, we want you to do this thing, we have 2 days, fly in, whatever. So I did it, and I'm like super prepared, and I think I was just really freaked out and couldn't be there because I remember thinking, wow, like I'm sucking it up right now, like I'm not giving it, which is always sad, right? And then months later, I get the call, hey, we're going to need to do reshoots for that scene, which, by the way, is like a scene. So, like, reshoots, what do you mean? And then I get there, and literally they've written, like, all of my scenes out, and they're just, like, mainly giving the other chick all of the words and, like, the entire scene. And I was like, this is fucked up. And then I saw the movie, and I was like, I totally get it. I sucked so hard that day of shooting that they were like, we need to give this other girl all the lines because this girl can't handle it. So that was my big firing moment, sort of, kind of. I still made the movie, but they didn't want me in it.
Wow.
They didn't. They were like, we want her out. We want her. So that I have those moments, guys.
Did you get murdered in it?
I
Yes.
did.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go.
I worked really hard at getting murdered.
That's something.
Yeah.
Hey, look, my thing is you give it your all. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's all you can do. You
Yeah.
just got to give it. Got to give it.
Yeah.
You do.
I remember Secret Circle, which was that one.
Terrible. Oh, sorry.
Terrible!
No. That's why it's funny, like, going through my credits, because it's like, how many things are just, like, super bad? And there's a lot of them.
Well, what would you rather talk about?
Okay, let's
the
hear it.
first time, or would you rather talk about
love
the Secret
that.
Circle?
Well, obviously, the first time is,
All right,
like,
let's talk about that.
sweeter to talk about.
It's more special.
It's more special. I met my boyfriend on that movie.
Wow. Still to this day?
Yeah.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah.
Who was-
6 years ago.
Is that
Dylan
O'Brien? Oh, wow.
Correct, yeah.
Very handsome gentleman.
Isn't he cute?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's super
Dylan
cute.
O'Brien, very talented guy from The Maze Runner and
Yeah.
from Teen Wolf.
That's right.
I mean, the guy's very handsome. You
He's
wanna
very
see- you wanna
cute.
see a
Pass it
picture?
around. Pass it around.
Look at this.
him.
Look at this guy.
That's
You kidding
exactly
me
what
with
he
that
looked
guy?
like when I met him.
He is a very sexy gentleman caller.
Oh, yeah.
We're doing selfies in the corner. So the first time was a good time. But the Secret Circle, I met a lot of really good friends on. I'm still friends with all those ladies.
Oh, and you had our dear friend Victoria Justice on the show.
Oh, Victoria. Yeah, she's awesome. She's a good time. I actually I never got Victoria. I'll be honest with you. I didn't really understand Victoria when I first met her because she did the first time. And I remember being like, there's got to be something in there because she seems too perfect, too put together, too on it. And then what I realized is like, no, she's actually just that genuinely good-hearted human who's just like got a great sense of humor, pretty relaxed, a little, neurotic when she needs to be, but also just like a kind person, wouldn't wish harm on anybody. And I think maybe there was a part of me that was just like, jealous of her or something that's why I couldn't like get her. And now that I'm older, I'm like, what a good chick. She's a good egg. I remember going to her 21st birthday and being like, you know what? I like this girl. I like her a lot.
I'll tell you what.
Tell me.
There's a girl that is a close friend of Matt's,
Oh.
but Matt as well as our
Mostly Matt.
Mostly Matt. And this girl, she's very, very nice.
Okay.
She's kind-hearted and she compliments everybody. She always finds like the positive and everything.
Amazing.
And I am not kidding you when I say for the first few months of me knowing this girl, I was like, this fake motherfucker.
Something's going on.
There's something
Something's
weird.
going on.
She's probably dealing drugs to somebody.
Yeah.
There's something
She's got
weird
a hard
going
life
on
behind the scenes.
and it was like after it was like 4 or 5 months, and then finally we were hanging out, and I was like, oh, she's like genuinely
no, she's like real.
a really good person
Yeah,
who's like
yeah.
super, super nice to everybody and kind and not not a mean person. But I'm so
really
used
takes
to like
you by surprise
because
when you meet
we
these
live
people.
in the worst city in
Of all
the
time,
world. That's
yeah.
also the greatest city of all time.
That's
so
right.
you know what I mean? Like it's
I wish, how they have the red dots to find like
Yeah.
sex offenders online.
Yes.
I wish they had those for good people.
people.
With like
Yeah.
just little gold stars
Yeah.
throughout the city. There's
Wait,
probably
wait.
like 4 of them in
You
Los
want to put
Angeles.
gold stars on a map in Los Angeles?
Of nice people.
Good luck.
I don't know.
But I do think, there
could
is a
work.
part of you that's always looking for the nasty in someone,
Yeah.
that's always looking for that thing that's going to get you when you're not looking.
Well, it's like look, my girlfriend, I adore.
Hey.
5 years I've been with this girl, and I
Hey.
adore her. She's wonderful, but she is a huge bitch. Like that's
Yeah.
what I love about her.
Sure.
Aside from her being my best friend and
Yeah.
someone I adore and love so much, she's also unbridledly she's very upfront and does not take
I love that
take
in a
shit
woman.
from anybody, and I love that
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
works for me. But I like having a shit talker around.
Totally,
you
but
know?
then when you meet the opposite, you're like, this isn't real.
Yeah,
this
this
is
isn't
not my
real.
reality that I live in,
Yeah.
And then you're like, I can't even be that nice if I try. Like, even if I'm putting on a faux, like,
Yeah.
I just can't even.
I appreciate you talking about her because Victoria was on Big Time Rush, and I
Yeah.
saw her all the time, and
Yeah.
I always was kind of like,
What's going on?
What is going on with this girl? 'Cause
No, but she's
so-
just
but
like
she
that.
Is. She's yeah.
I've spent time with her now, and I'm like, oh no, it's real. I'm telling you, it's real, and I like it. I like it a lot.
As opposed to Ariana Grande.
Ugh, what a nightmare. Cares about Ariana. No, you know who loves her now?
Who's that?
London. London loves her, and I
Yeah.
know it's
Manchester.
messed up to say. Shut up, Kirby.
It's true.
No, but she did a lot of great, and I think it was a really
It's a
smart
good
move
benefit
on her
concert she
part.
did. and
For her to
everybody showed
go
up,
back
By the
there
way,
and do that
exactly.
was
I thought it was a
very
genius
brave.
move, and it made me be like, oh, okay, cool. So maybe she's like a good person. Seems
Yeah.
like she could be a good person. I never thought it before, but now I'm starting to think it.
I know. I remember
You
seeing
know, Jeanette
her.
McCurdy should have put on a benefit concert there.
Oh no!
That's right.
That was the
That would have been
Low
the best.
blow.
What a fucking. That was the worst thing Nickelodeon has ever done. Is put those two on a TV show together.
Let's get two people who don't get along and put them on a show
They did not
together.
like each other already.
They didn't, right?
Yeah, and
I
then they
wasn't
put
sure
them on
about
a
the
show
drama.
together, and it was just a living
Well, you know
nightmare.
what you get when you have strong personality is not a fun TV show.
Yeah, no, you don't. You don't. There's a few more things we have to talk about.
What is it?
Okay, first of all, you've worked with Jennifer Aniston twice. You
Yeah.
worked with her on Mother's Day, which we have already covered.
Yeah.
At length. But you also worked with her on the movie Cake.
Yeah.
Which she was nominated for
Like a bunch of things, but
Golden
not an
Globes.
Oscar.
No,
That
but
was a
she
big deal.
She was nominated for a lot of stuff, and she's amazing in that, and you're fucking great in that too.
Sure.
And Anna Kendrick was in that.
That's right. I'm
yeah.
like, I don't recall, but yes.
a lot of wonderful people. What was that? What was that like?
Well, so I just had like a couple of days on Cake, and honestly, I knew for Jennifer this was kind of like a transformative experience for her. She was looking to like kind of make a more serious move into, drama and like try this role that was a pretty huge undertaking. And so for me, I was just trying to like not say a word, sit in the background, because there's nothing worse when you're trying to focus than having someone being like, hi, excuse me, do you mind, can I just get a photo? Do you mind if my mom comes to work tomorrow? Like I knew that she was trying to focus and trying to, have this great performance. So I actually had to be in a scene with her where she has this where she sees the photo of her son for the first time and has this huge breakdown. And I remember feeling so uncomfortable that I even had to be there because I know what it takes to just have to walk onto a set and break down over your kid being passed. That's a huge thing to have to commit to.
Yeah.
So I was just kind of dancing around trying not to make any noise basically. But then when I saw her for the first time on the Mother's Day set, she literally came up to me, arms open wide, and was like, Britt! And I was like, you're joking.
Holy crap.
She remembers who I am, and she cares enough to give me a hug and was so sweet, asked me how my life was doing. It's so great to work together again. I was like, okay,
wow.
Let's make it a third.
And Stephen, when
yeah.
you saw Cake, were you disappointed that it wasn't actually about a cake?
Cake, yeah.
I was. I really.
I was sad about that, too.
I'm
Like,
looking
did they
forward
have
to
frosting with popcorn?
I was like, what's the wrap party going to be like at this thing?
There better be cake.
Cakes everywhere.
The film that I think put you into like
another atmosphere.
It moved
Launched you into space.
a whole
Yeah.
thing. Is the leap to Tomorrowland.
Oh, what a leap that was.
Holy shit. That was a huge fucking movie.
And a huge fucking bomb. No, but
I don't
yeah,
know. How
was a
big?
good
How big?
time.
Was it financially a big bomb?
I mean,
for
I
them?
think. I don't
think
know.
it did okay.
I don't know
It's
this.
doing great in
I'll run the
home
numbers on
viewings.
it.
Thank you so much. Thank you
has to
so
be.
much for that positivity. Now, here's my thing with Tomorrowland. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. They were like,
That's Disney. That's a huge fucking.
yeah, they're like, here's a movie. There's no script. George Clooney's attached, and Brad Bird's directing. And I was like, great. Where's the audition? You know, where do I drive to? And like, I auditioned for it, and then all of a sudden they're like, you're flying to Vancouver. You're doing a screen test. Oh, by the way, you booked it. I'm like, great. Going to Vancouver, shooting the movie, and then freaking a year later, they're like, Tomorrowland is out. It's doing terribly. What are you going to do? What are you thinking? And I was like, guys, I'm an actor. Like, I just hop from one thing to the next. I don't actually care about what happens, you know?
Yeah, of course.
But, no, people did think it was a big deal at one point in time. Sure,
Well,
yes.
look,
Let's talk.
the production budget was $190 million.
What were they thinking?
$190 million.
Yeah, they
was
flew
the
us
budget.
How's it
private to
Clooney get
Spain, the
150?
entire cast and crew. What were they thinking?
Holy shit.
Wow.
They chartered a plane to send us all to Spain to shoot something that didn't need to be shot in Spain.
Oh
How was
my
the
God.
how
Wait,
was
hang
the
on,
charter
hang on.
flight? Like you on a plane with Clooney on a charter flight?
No, I don't think Clooney was on that chartered
Oh,
plane.
yeah.
I'm pretty sure he had his own plane, like brought to you by Disney. But yeah.
Mickey
They
Mouse
shot
actually,
him in a rocket
They
ship.
hired Dumbo to
Do you know what
come and put him on the
happened?
back and fly him over
It was
there.
terrible.
Really?
They supplied us with way too much booze and
Mm-hmm.
wine, and I had like 4 bottles of wine, probably not, just a bottle of wine myself. And we were all playing we were like gambling or something, because
Mm-hmm.
you can do that when you're like in the skies. And we're gambling, and then I'm like trying to stretch out on my like little row of seats. And 12 hours later, I never slept, and I was real pissed by the time I got there. And so then basically I just didn't get to enjoy Spain because I wanted to be sleeping the whole time. It was pretty terrible of an experience. But I'm sure I've got some other good stories for you. What else would you like to ask?
I mean, what was Clooney like as a
Oh.
person to work with?
What do you mean?
Like,
Okay, I'll
did
give
you-
you the truth.
Tell me the truth. I mean, you can if you feel comfortable telling us.
Of course. Look, the first time I met Clooney, he was so kind to me. He was immediately like, we had a friend in common, this guy, Neil Baer, who was the producer of Under the Dome, was the like head writer, creator, producer on ER.
Right.
And so he was like, I hear you're friends with Neil Baer. And he was super kind and really chill. And I was just, and we had to kind of jump into a scene together, which was a lot, you know. And he was super generous and really kind. But I think ultimately, like both him and myself, and even the little girl who was like 11, this young girl Raffi, who was amazing, we all had a really tricky time on the film because, you know, we were trying to just make Brad Bird's dream come to life. And
Sure.
he's a guy who thinks images and he thinks animation. And he comes from, like, the John Lasseter world of, like, you know, making
he
puppets
did
come to life.
He did Incredibles.
Yeah,
and
he did The
lots of other
Incredibles
amazing stuff.
and, you know, the cooking one.
It's a lot.
Ratatouille?
Ratatouille, yeah, of course, yeah.
And then like Mission Impossible 3. So we were all trying so hard to like make this vision come to life. And I think ultimately it's a really frustrating place to just not like create things and instead like recreate them in the image of.
Yeah, sure, of
So we were we were there for 6 months, and there would be times where I'd literally have to touch a pin a certain way, like over 50 times. And like that gets a little grueling for everybody, you
Sure,
know?
yeah, of
And
course.
especially a guy like George Clooney, who is known for his talents and known for his brilliance, and he just likes to make things come to life in the moment instead of have them, you know, sort of preconceived through someone else. So I think we were all really frustrated throughout that process, and especially Brad, the director, who's the kindest guy in the world, and he
Yeah.
was trying to get us through that experience. But it was tricky. It was a tricky place to be.
Yeah, and they were under a lot of pressure too, because the tricky thing with Tomorrowland is everyone was like, okay, Tomorrowland is based on a section of
the
Disneyland,
theme park,
right?
yeah.
So everyone that's ever been to Disneyland has their own version
image,
of what
yeah.
that means to them, and
Totally.
what the future means, and what a world like that would be like.
Right.
And so you're trying to please, millions and millions of people with something they've already conceived. You try to preconceive, and it's the same type of thing that they dealt with Star Wars, with all the stuff that they've been doing on that,
or when they made the Country Bear Jamboree movie, it was very difficult.
Well, even more difficult because it's so loose. The premise of what Tomorrowland is so loose that once you start putting story to it, it can get very nerve-wracking. So I can only imagine.
I mean, it was just a tricky spot to be in, but ultimately, again, I'm an actor, and
you do your work and then you move on to the next project.
Yeah, and it made me so strong, you guys. The strongest I've ever been. No, but I am a better actor because of it, and I feel like I could work with literally anyone and make dreams come true because I had so much time with Brad Bird, and I was like, I'm doing it. I'm going to make you happy no matter what.
Well, I like what you did in the Space Between Us, which is
hilarious.
That's a very, very sweet movie, and the cast in that also very, very sweet.
Super sweet.
I think you did it.
Asa Butterfield is actually one of my favorite actors I've ever worked with in my life,
and
he's also a decade younger than me. He's so much younger than me, but I think he's brilliant.
Really?
Yeah, and he's the sweetest guy in the world.
He's just such a great vibe to him.
My comparison is, so I worked with this guy Scott Eastwood. Have you guys heard of him?
Oh yeah,
Clint Eastwood's son.
Sure.
And Scott was a good 4 or 5 years older than me when we did this romance movie, whatever you call them, The Longest Ride.
Right.
You
of
mentioned
course,
it earlier.
Longest Ride.
And then I worked with Asa 2 years later, who was 5 years younger than me. And love Scott, think he's hilarious, and had a great time doing that movie with him. But he cracks me up, and he's also a little delusional and thinks things that just don't exist. I mean, he's just a weird dude, and he has a reality that he lives in that I'm just not a part of.
What?
You know?
Really?
Yeah. Can you imagine being Clint Eastwood's son and living in a different world than the rest of us?
Sure, of course.
But
it's
by
called
the
Carmel,
way,
California. It's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. I
should all know
loved
this.
being around this guy because he would crack me up always. I'm just where do you live? What planet? And
I said it's Carmel, California.
Yeah, exactly.
Short drive up the coast. It's very beautiful.
Just on repeat.
Yes, I love
Clint Eastwood was mayor at one time.
Oh my
So
God.
true. But so then I worked with Asa, who was 18, barely able to work by himself without a parent, accompanying him. And I remember just being you are the perfect co-star and you're a child, but I would make out with you all day long, every day, just to not live in the fake world fantasy place that Scott Eastwood lives in.
Oh
and
my God,
again,
that's so
not to
funny.
hate on him because I do think he's brilliant and a different way than most people would describe brilliant, but Asa was my favorite dude that I've worked with, and I
feel
was so
we're
impressed.
at their parent teacher night. You're talking about
he's a different
these two
kind of
students
brilliant.
you have.
There's brilliant like Oscar, and then there's brilliant like Scott. It's
Well, are you
just
challenging Scott? That's the important part.
yeah. We've challenged him. He's very challenged.
Oh my God, that's so funny.
But love to all.
Well, what do you have? Are you allowed to talk about anything that you have coming up next?
No, you know why?
Why?
Because I don't have anything coming up next.
Oh,
No, but honestly,
You will.
I've taken literally a year off, which has been really.
Do you have any homes in Beverly Hills you're pitching around
I have
right now?
2. Would you like to live in either?
No.
Okay.
I can't afford it right now.
Are you a real estate? Are you?
I've
you-
gotten into real estate.
Do you have your real estate license?
I do not. But my boyfriend's mom does, and I'm can I be your assistant? I'd love to work my way up. No, I don't know. I felt like it was important for me to take some time off to really focus on me for a hot second.
Can we ask you about
'cause I haven't
something?
done it. What?
When A Dog's Purpose came out,
Yeah, tell me.
and all that
Oh my
controversy came down.
Yeah,
you're
I'll
just
be
sitting
so
back. You're probably
honest.
because you shot this movie I don't know how long before that came out, right? Months before.
Yeah, like a year before.
Yes, like a year ago, you filmed this movie, and then it's finally around where it's going to come out. And then, like, somebody leaks this video of some
What was
dog
the
not doing his
controversy?
job.
The director did karate on the dog.
Yeah, they tried to kill him.
They did karate on the dog. That's what happened.
It was something like
I
that.
tried to
karate
watch a
fight
little
with
bit
the
of the
dog.
video, and I'll tell you as far as I got, there was a guy forcing like pushing this dog into a street, like a river that was running on like a green screen sound stage, and I was like, I'm out, this is
Yeah,
messed
no way.
up, no thank you. But
I
I'll
get
be
it.
honest with you, I'm really good friends with the casting director at DreamWorks and her daughter, and I called them immediately, and I was like, I cannot promote this movie. Like, I just did a bunch of best friend animal society campaigns, and like the last thing I could be doing is talking about this movie that promotes like violence to animals. And like later it came out that it was all edited together and PETA and whatever. But by the way, like DreamWorks, who produced that movie, I mean, they have like a dog daycare center on site. These people are dog lovers. And like, I know the director wasn't there, the producers were not there. It was a second unit situation. So ultimately, I don't hold them responsible. I hold other people responsible. But at the same time, I'm not down.
Yeah,
Like,
Look, if you're a dog and you want to get into
Josh
Hollywood,
Gad.
sometimes
Yeah,
you got to
Josh
do what
Gad.
it takes.
Josh Gad, who's a great guy, and we've hung out a couple times.
he's
and
the voice of it.
Such a sweetheart. He's the voice of the whole movie.
Yeah.
And he was like, I can't.
We
do
can't.
this.
We
Yeah,
all bowed out.
yeah,
And they were
no.
like, by the way, we understand because we
Yeah.
want to bow out at this point too.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
such a.
Also,
fucking-
that movie made a lot of money.
It still did.
It
make
did.
a lot of money.
Crazy,
Yeah.
which is so crazy. They're making a sequel, you guys.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that
Wow.
insane?
You know what? I wouldn't doubt it for any.
It just
Is
cracks
Michael
me
Vick
up.
directing the sequel?
Yeah, it's right. Dog fights everywhere.
Damn it!
It's funny, I'm,
Matt, what is the matter with you?
I'm
Way to
actually
get
Facebook
grim.
friends with the
Who?
woman who wrote the book.
Yeah, I met her.
A Dog's
I think,
Purpose. And
with
then, like,
the
her husband wrote the script or
Yeah,
something?
yeah.
They
I
did
think I
something like
met
that?
them in a
just
van
to
ride
just to
once.
give you an idea, A Dog's Purpose was made not for 190 million.
No, but for
$22 million,
$22 million.
and it made $193 million.
yeah, it's yeah,
Big hit.
Which is that's a lot.
which
that's
is
a lot of money.
a nice
That's a
size
nice
success.
chunk of money.
Yeah,
You know what's so funny though?
especially when I didn't have to do any press for it.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Go
oh,
ahead,
man.
keep going.
Will you be in the sequel?
Hell no. No, I don't think so. I don't think my character lasts that long.
Does your
but,
character get mauled by a dog? I didn't see it. Did you get killed by a
She
dog? in the movie?
ages pretty significantly,
Oh,
so
okay.
I think
Yeah,
I think I'm out skis.
Kind of age out of
Yeah.
that one a little bit.
I turn into Peggy Lipton.
Do you wind
Uh,
up the old woman from Titanic at the end?
That's right.
And then you throw your.
You throw a dog in the ocean?
No! Oh, come on, Matt! I set him
Back
up
to
and then he-
torture, back to
Why did we
torture.
do that? I think that you should do another season
What should
of
I do?
Girl Boss.
Yeah.
And you should do it with just you and RuPaul the whole season.
Oh my God, wouldn't that be
Because I know that
great?
she was. I mean, RuPaul.
Yeah.
Was on the show, and I'm a big fan of her. And I think
I
that
love
you
RuPaul.
should-
Stop calling her her. It's just because she's in drag. He's
a
in
guy.
drag.
It's a
Yeah,
guy.
yeah. He's a dude.
He's a dude.
Yeah.
I'm
I
a big
understand.
fan.
It's hard to know. Like Caitlyn, he, she. I get it.
I don't want to be offensive.
No,
I
no.
love.
By the way, I get it. I understand.
Just say it.
Whenever
Guys,
my
what's the matter with you?
Whenever my mom and I are watching the Kardashians, which happens from time to time, and she'll be like, remember when Caitlyn was like, he was all, and I was like, Mom, she, and he was like, no, but past tense when he was a he. And so there's always that debate of like, how do you appropriately, acknowledge.
I just made a huge mistake.
Oh, God.
I'm trying to recover. I'm
yeah.
still trying to recover from it. Both these guys
We'll
know
put in a
about it.
proper retraction.
Yeah, I went to a restaurant and I was sitting at it was like a nice Italian restaurant, and the server was a Hispanic fellow,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, "Oh, this is the best food. This place is so great. Thank you so much. The food was amazing." And the guy went, "Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It's good." And I go, "Really? The food just it's the best. It's probably one of my favorite restaurants in Los
Wow.
Angeles." And he goes, "Okay, good. That's good. Thank you. I tell them it's good." And I go, "No, I go. You know what? It's probably my top 5."
Oh, my God.
And he goes, "Oh yeah." I go, "Yeah. Number 4 is probably El Compadre. You ever been to El Compadre?"
Oh, my God.
And he goes, "No, I never been." And I go, "You never been to El Compadre? Best Mexican food in Los Angeles."
Oh my God, amazing.
And he
amazing.
goes,
No, it's not.
okay. And I go, "Well, I mean, I don't know I mean, I don't know if there's is there other Mexican food that's really good?
Oh,
And he
God.
goes, it's okay to whatever you like. And I go, what? Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite place? And at this point, my
You're
girlfriend's
just
like,
like compensating.
oh my God, shut the fuck up,
Shut
Stephen.
up! Yeah.
Just stop it. And I like buried my,
You're
I wanted
pulling
to,
like
yeah.
on Seinfeld when
I'm a bad person.
done
when
it
there
all.
was the mailman
Ellis.
who was Asian,
Right.
And he asked the guy where he can find a good Chinese restaurant. He's like, "You must know where there's a Chinese restaurant around here." He's like, "No, it's because you're a mailman. You know the neighborhood."
Oh my God,
Yeah,
amazing. What
That's
a
where
great
we're. That's what we're like
compensation.
when we make horrible choices. We're gonna play a little fun game.
Yeah.
But to do that, so Mike, we're gonna need you to switch out with Kirby.
I am.
Mike,
Mike,
you
we
got
love
fired.
you. Mike, we love you.
We love you, Mike. We love you,
But
Mike.
see, you wouldn't want to be you.
Yeah, see you. Wouldn't want to be you. And here's a fun thing. Kirby Bliss, would you please come up and take a seat
She's
here at the
wasted
table?
already.
Kirby
Well,
Bliss Blanton.
it's only about to get worse. It's only about to get worse because this part of the show,
Yeah.
this is a little something we like to call.
Stop kidding around.
This is a little something we like. Girls, you could maybe you
Girls.
guys could sing ladies. You could
Yeah.
sing the theme song
Sure.
to this with me. This is a little thing we like to call. Worst day on set. Worst day
On set.
And this part of the show is sponsored by not only the greatest liquor of all time, Fireball Whiskey, and we have bottles for both of
Shut
you.
up. Are you serious?
We brought bottles for the both of you.
Can I just tell you, I had my 19-year-old sister staying with me, and someone spoke about Fireball, and I was like, well, it kind of tastes like, and I wish I had some on hand
It
to
tastes like
to,
the cinnamon
to, like,
things.
Yeah,
you
it's like
know.
cinnamon gum.
You mean
It
Yes.
reminds me of fucking
You mean
Texas
your
by far. This is what we
21-year-old
used to-
sister?
No, I'm talking
who's of age.
underage. Who cares?
Oh, no!
Let's play. No.
Thank you, Matt.
I've been really excited to have some Fireball in my life, so thank you for providing.
Anytime.
Cheers.
So
Cheers.
we're going to talk about worst day on set.
So many.
Kirby, would you like to go first? Would you like to tell us about your worst day on set?
Mine's kind of easy. I did a movie in the freaking Amazon.
And what was
And you
the,
almost
the
died.
name of
I
the movie?
literally
was
almost died. The Green Inferno.
Green Inferno.
But like,
And
that's,
how did you almost die?
there's two different things actually. And what's funny is I remember because I would go through having Wi-Fi and then not having Wi-Fi for like a week or whatever, and I would email
And not having
you
Wi-Fi, I totally died.
every.
It's the least amount of time
Matt
I've
Walker
ever
over
heard.
here, another gym, another
Matt,
gym.
you have to let them tell their stories. You'll have your time.
It's the only 2 months I've ever not heard from Kirby.
Well, that's actually very true because I'm a bit of a text messenger. But it's very true. So
loves to
like
communicate.
randomly, I would just be like, Britt, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But I have to tell you what happened. I'm sure she doesn't care. But at this point, I'm like, I almost
Are
died.
you alive?
I went to
Cool.
it. Yeah. She's like, great. If you're alive, great. How great. But yeah, so there was two different things. I got really, really sick and was coughing and stuff and had to go to a Peruvian hospital to where like I was the only other I'll just say it, white/blonde/
American.
person. Thank you.
You got it.
Sorry, bro. Who was in there, and I couldn't understand what anyone was saying. And like he looked at my throat, and the only thing he said was like "adios mio," and I know what that means. Like, I was like,
bad,
"Oh
bad.
fuck!" And yeah, they had to put like a shot in my ass, and then like I couldn't work for 2 days, and it was really, really bad. And then I guess the other thing that was really scary is I had an allergic reaction to the bug bites that I was getting in the Amazon. So like everyone else was getting bitten and stuff, but then I was just like getting eaten alive.
Looking all kinds of
Like
gross.
big old like, and Eli was like, "Oh, perfect, zoom in on these." I was like, "Oh my god, this is so gross." But yeah, but being in the middle of the Amazon was the worst day on set I've ever had. To where now, if I'm in any studio or any like nice, my mom's like, "You can't complain ever about being on set ever."
Yeah.
Like because you've literally been in the worst like circumstances ever. So like when it's like you don't have Diet Cokes, what the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
I can't complain about anything.
Did you
Yeah.
did you watch the season of Naked and Afraid XL where they were in the Amazon?
No, because I actually have a problem like hearing the words Chile and Peru.
Okay. Well, they were
I
in the
can't.
Amazon and some guy got flesh-eating bacteria on his foot.
What?
And he got medevaced out.
This is why Matt always interjects at the
times.
right times and says always the right
That's
things.
crazy
Yeah,
and
he really
awesome.
does.
What would you do without him?
Nothing. Nothing. I
There
wouldn't
would be
doing
no
a show.
podcast.
There would be no
Exactly,
podcast.
exactly.
Absolutely not.
Without
I don't
Mike
know
and
what
Matt.
these are. These are
what
wires
these
and
buttons are?
switches.
These are all just buttons.
Yeah, these are all these buttons.
Beep, boop, beep, boop.
I like buttons. Well, all right, Matt. Worst day on a set or on a gig? I know you do a lot of stand up.
Okay, I'll tell you about one of my worst gigs ever. Was
Can't say anything about JB though.
anything about who?
JB, remember you talked?
Oh no. I had a gig once when I was a fairly new comic, opening for another comic at what we call a corporate gig. Like we're doing a conference down in San Diego for the National Indian Gaming Association. So it's like all of the heads of the Indian casinos all around the country are all in San Diego at this one hotel in downtown San Diego. So we go down there to perform and like entertain them at this conference they're having, right? So we go into the room, and we first get in the room. It's set up like a cocktail lounge, which is bad for comedy. Like there's no tables. People are just standing around talking to each other. That's a bad sign for a comedy show because they're just there's nothing to keep them focused on the stage. It's not the right layout. But we get there, we're like, hey, we're the comics, whatever, performing tonight. And then these people are all sitting around talking. And then they're like, oh, we're going to start the entertainment portion of the show. They had some band playing. And they're like, oh, now we're going to do a tribute to all of the fallen Indians, all of our colleagues who died in the last year. And they have this woman come out in native dress. And she sings Amazing Grace. And they have this slideshow of people that like were in the industry with them. And then all these like celebrity Indians who had died in the last year. And people are crying. And then the guy comes out on stage. He's like, and now we have comedians. And then I had to go out after that. And I'm like, hey, how's everybody doing tonight?
How do you follow up after that?
Well, apparently I don't.
Yeah.
I did 10 minutes.
Crashed and
10
burned.
minutes to just dead, silent stares of like, we hate this guy. We want to murder him. And I did comedy for like a year at this point. I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah. Oh.
Like I had no idea how to handle that
you
at all.
figured it
Up
out.
against
No,
you.
had no idea what was
Yeah, like
happening.
I was completely incompetent to take that gig.
Oh, you poor
and I had
thing.
it. And then I made $100. And then on the way home, we stopped at an Indian casino, and I lost my $100 back to the Indians.
They took your money
They
again,
took the money
man.
back. They got it back.
Dark.
So
That's really sad and
That's
dark.
perfect
And
if you know
I would have
math.
quit after that point.
Yeah, that'd be the end.
There's always moments in my career where I'm like, I should have quit. I should have quit there. I should have quit then. I should have quit that. That would have been my moment
and
where
that
I'm
was
like, done.
That
We're
was
out.
like 13
Out.
years ago.
Oh,
And I still do
wow.
it.
He's
Still
still
at
at it.
Still doing it.
Woo!
What about you, Britt? What's your worst?
She's
incident?
got a couple, probably.
Well, yeah, mine are always like coupled. I'm not good with like one specific instance. I do this thing where I like to throw up when I having a bad day.
I don't think you like to. You just so happen to.
No, my body loves it. My body loves to throw up whenever I'm having a bad day. It's happened like on a number of occasions. One of the first ones was on Tomorrowland. It was my first day of shooting. Woohoo! They flew me up to the middle of Canada, and no one told me that there was some sort of like the altitude is like
the
very
altitude
different. It's
sickness.
like 3,000 something, whatever, and they have me out in this wheat
the worst.
field, and I'm supposed to be like doing this specific visual effect motion where I'm like hold this pin and
Oh
bring
yeah,
it
because
up.
that's in the
and
trailer.
I'm-
I know which part you're talking about.
And all of a sudden I'm, this is like take 45, which is just like unheard of. By the way, I come from TV.
Very
we don't do
expensive,
that
too.
many takes.
Yeah, right.
And I'm just like gonna hurl anyway. And then all of a sudden I'm just like, I gotta stop. And they pull me over. And it's, by the way, 5 seconds before I'm meeting George Clooney. And I'm just like doubled over into this trash can, just like hurling on repeat, just hurling. And I'm like, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm dehydrated. Get me some Gatorade. Just like trying to find the fix.
Oh, you poor thing.
So there was that time. Then there was the time. There's always a time. It always involves me throwing up, and I don't think I need to tell every story.
Oh,
but
I don't know. We probably have time.
But there's just there's
anywhere
something
to
about
go,
my
do you?
reflexes where it's like whenever like shit
make
is going
yourself sick.
wrong, I'm just gonna be hurling in a trash can. The first day on the first time, the movie that I did with my lovely boyfriend.
Dylan O'Brien, everyone.
Yeah. There was a scene where I guess I got food poisoning. Who knows? Or I was stressed out. It was a scene where we're in a movie theater. Victoria Justice is in the scene, and she's this beautiful shoulder that I'm supposed to be admiring and like
That's too
thinking like,
creepy.
ooh, shoulder, ooh, sexy. And I'm supposed to go out feeling like, self-conscious, and he's supposed to follow me out. And I have this huge monologue about how I want to travel, and I want to travel the world. And all of a sudden,
I love
I'm
this
just
movie
like,
so much. So I hate that you're mocking it.
I'm
but-
just like in the middle of this travel monologue, and I just like feel it coming on in the middle of this
Did
scene.
you throw up
we're
on
still,
Dylan?
yeah, no. We're rolling, and I'm just like, I'm walking towards him during this monologue, and then I just have to start backing up towards the trash can, just backing on up, and then I'm like, and
God,
just
it's
like
amazing.
for so long, you guys. And I remember thinking like,
That's why they waited to date until after the movie was over.
yeah, because I knew
It
he'd
wasn't
never
about
be able to
professionalism.
see me any other way than the girl hurling in a trash can. Yeah, but like it
Wow.
I know
happens
the
every
director
happened
too,
on
so I'm
Girl
laughing.
Boss. Like it just happens.
You threw
to
up
me.
on Girl Boss?
I threw up on Girl Boss.
She had a lot of different things on Girl Boss.
I got a real life hernia. The girl in the story
Gets a hernia, but then
gets a
Britt did.
hernia,
She
and then
calls
I
me-
did as
hernia?
well. Yeah,
She's
my
a method
groin.
actress.
What?
No, Sophia actually got a hernia. That
In
whole part
life.
was real when she's pushing the. Go ahead, sorry.
I'm sorry, it's a good. No, Kirby's been here
I
the
love
whole
it.
time, and she knows all the stories.
No,
so
but I
she's
love. I'm the
chipping in.
biggest Britt Robertson fan there is.
I know.
I
So
love
sweet.
that
All of
show
you guys need
so
to just
much.
fall back.
So there's a scene where I have to be running the Golden Gate Bridge with this wedding dress that I have to deliver to a client.
Of course.
And so they had me out on the real Golden Gate Bridge.
In heels.
No, I wasn't in heels. I
Oh,
was in
okay.
Converse, which apparently are bad for your
Feet.
for your
Really?
groin. Well, they just don't. They're not good for running. You can't run in them apparently.
Yeah.
But it was the first time I was in like flats running, so I was thankful. And I'm not like I don't work out. I've been trying recently, but like beforehand, really not a big worker-outer.
Sure.
Not the most athletic, but
And
very
I'm really
poised.
terrible at cardio. So they have me out there, and I'm running, and the creator's like, sending, feeding me like funny, comedic lines or whatever. And by the end of the scene, after I've run the entire length of the Golden Gate Bridge on camera, screaming bloody murder, I was like, God, I feel so sore. A couple days later, I have a scene where I'm running in heels, like down this big hill in San Francisco, and I start feeling this throbbing, like this crazy throbbing. And then I have one scene, a couple days later, where I'm supposed to be like flicking the bird off at this help wanted sign, and I literally go into rehearsal, and I'm like, flipping the bird at this help wanted sign. Because I don't want to get a job. And I just burst into tears and like hurl. And so they're like, get her in a van, get her to the doctor. And then they're like, you've pulled your groin. And I was like, what the heck? What is going on? But what the idea was that they wrote all these scenes in the show that lead up to Sophia's real hernia. And I was actually having to play these scenes out.
And then she actually
And then
got
I
a hernia.
actually, pulled my groin
Oh,
and had.
that's
I
good
know.
writing.
It was
Shit.
one of the best phone calls ever. She's like, I was shooting this scene where I get a hernia, and now I have a hernia.
And
I
yeah,
was
and they
like,
just
"Are
shut
you
down
fucking
production for like
kidding?"
3
my
days in San Francisco.
Yeah.
It was
What's
really
crazy,
sad.
On the show, remember, she
Wow.
had shit
Yeah,
popping out and
of
stuff. You
course.
didn't have that.
I didn't know there was no intestines coming out of my
Just
body.
to clarify.
But there was and I still have problems with it. I
And
can't
pain,
do
yeah,
certain
See,
exercises
that's why
without
I
the
think
tear.
that's probably one of your I would think that would
Worst
be top.
day.
Yeah.
There's a
Yeah.
lot of bad days, guys.
That's a top 5.
Everybody's got a bad day.
But that's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of the deal. I'll tell you my worst day.
Please.
Can't
that
wait.
I've ever had. I think
The day I
think
met
it's
Matt
the-
Walker. No.
Yes.
You're
That
gonna
was
win.
my
Yes.
worst day.
You're gonna win, aren't you?
No.
a competition.
Look, in perspective, maybe not. I mean, I didn't get a flesh-eating virus. Or no, I mean,
None
I
of
didn't
us
get
did.
No, I
I mean,
was
I
like,
didn't get
that's
sick
not
in the
the
that was
story.
that was him telling me how
Oh,
bad
yeah.
mine was.
Yeah.
How bad it could have been.
Maybe with perspective over time, this won't seem as bad, but
Okay.
it happened yesterday.
What?
Yeah,
fucking
I
with
had
us.
no. I'm not. I'm dead. I'll show you pictures. It happened yesterday on set. I got
of?
here's the thing: is I signed an NDA, so I'm not allowed to say what
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
We'll ask
but
you
I
after
will
we
tell
stop
you.
recording.
Yes, but I will tell you the idea. So it was an industrial video for a company.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that will air on their website, and then for all these other people, and they spent probably a couple $100,000
A lot of money.
making this little short thing, and they jam-packed it with the cast of a very, very famous TV show. All right, so they got a bunch of the cast from this show to that everyone would know. They put the whole cast into the project without it being written by the people that made the show.
Yeah.
And then they needed to cast a couple of small other roles, and they cast me as one of those other roles.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I was like, I wanted to take the job because I was like, holy shit, I get to go work with all these people I'm a huge fan of. I've binged watch 7 seasons of their
Whoa.
fucking show. I'm a huge,
Could it
huge
be?
fan. Right.
We're getting the deets. We're getting the deets.
All right. So I get because Matt doesn't even know this.
Okay.
So
All right, Matt, don't pretend.
yeah. So just
All I did
just
was show me
relax.
Google.
Okay. All right. So here's what happens. I get the call. They go, and it pays good money. And I had to. Part of the deal is I have to tweet about it twice.
Sure.
Once it comes
That's not
out.
that big.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like sure, whatever.
You can do that.
I take the deal, and they go, yeah, by the way, it shoots in Acton, California.
Okay.
And I go,
No, that's
Well, I am
tricky.
acting
but-
in California.
Acton, California
It's
is...
tricky. It's tricky. It's far.
With traffic, an hour and a half
Sure.
from where I live.
Where is
here in
it
Hollywood.
Deserted.
Where is it close to? Give me an idea.
Lancaster.
Oh,
Yeah,
Lancaster.
which is another terrible spot.
exactly.
I
It's like
said,
in between Lancaster and Palmdale.
Good times.
Yeah, so I said
Not a lot.
I don't want to drive out there. But
It's out of the zone.
I was
It's out of the
but,
zone.
Yeah, but if you guys want to get an Uber or something, or someone drive me out there, I'll drive out there and drive back. And they go, no problem. One of our producers is going to drive you out there and drive back. I go, okay, yeah, that sounds fine. So I get picked up at 5:00 in the morning yesterday morning to go to Acton, California. All right. This is pretty normal stuff at
I
this
think
point.
his story's better
right?
than ours so far.
No. They drive me out there. We go past any sort of residential area. Now we're in the desert. Like we're literally in the desert, and the only thing you can see for miles is cactus and stuff. And they have a barn that's been built on the set.
Okay.
I'm like, okay, all right.
It's got to be 115 out there.
No. We arrived there. Don't ruin it. We arrive there. It's 6:00 in the morning when we arrive, and it's 100 degrees.
Oh, man.
At
At
6
a.m.
At 6 a.m.
Yeah.
It's 100 degrees.
We're going through
And
a
I'm
heat
like-
wave right now, peeps. So
Yeah.
Don't come to Los Angeles.
I'm like, 100 degrees at 6 a.m. Okay, that's not so great.
That's scary.
We have two trailers, two big sets of four-banger
Yeah.
trailers, right? So the four-bangers are like little mini
Yeah.
ones
Oh, I
know.
for
We
each
know.
person,
I'm
right?
very-
You guys know,
yeah.
right? So I'm like, okay, so I have like I got a little trailer. It's air-conditioned. It's
Sure.
comfy. At 10 a.m., it's 113 degrees.
Whoa.
What the?
Okay? At 9 a.m.,
Oh no.
both generators on both
Blow.
bangers had blown out.
No.
So they
I'm schwitzing just thinking
they
about it.
they can't fix it. Okay, they can't, and they've tried to hire people to come out and fix it, and they keep coming. These guys are now coming out
Jerks,
and
all
they're
of
trying
them.
to fix it. They can't fucking fix it. Of
course they
right?
can't.
And it's some second rate like bullshit trailers. They're not like really nice.
These aren't
But-
Quixote.
Right, yeah. But these aren't nice ones, and the actors are all trying to sit in their trailers.
And these are
stay-
big actors, right?
These
Because
are
you
big
said they're on a
actors
big
from
show.
big shows. I'm the least famous person on this. It's me and this very pretty Asian girl I played the director of the shoot,
yeah.
and this girl played the boom operator.
Of course she does.
Everyone else is like the actors, like the big actors, right? So, but we have dialogue and stuff, right? I get the script. I open the script up. I'm like, all right, it's time to find my dialogue. I have one whole line of dialogue.
Beautiful.
Right?
What
And
is it? Anything good?
It was, all right, we're ready. That
Yeah.
was it. That was like the
Beautiful.
line, right?
Great.
Honestly,
I'm
though,
like, at
even
this
just how
point-
you said that was incredible.
No, it was.
Thank you
really
so
nice.
much. But at this
With
point,
authority.
I'm still kind of complaining about stuff that's like not the worst thing in the world. Now, the generator being blown out,
That's pretty big.
That's like
That's-
the worst thing in the world.
that violates so many union rules.
Yeah,
It's not
It's
even like possible.
No,
to
no, no.
respect.
Pretty bad.
Right. But we're like, okay, whatever. They take us to the safety meeting. We go in the safety meeting. They go, hey guys, quick
Drink water.
You go, you want to drink lots and lots of water
Sunscreen.
all day. Don't stop drinking water because we don't want to have any sort of passing out or any sort of problems. We don't have a medic on set today, so if there is any problems,
There's not any actual restrooms either.
Yeah, like the restrooms.
The third cactus on the left is the restroom. Just go pee behind it.
Also, quick thing, we just found out that this area is infested, and when we say infested, we mean it really is dangerous with black widows
What?
and rattlesnakes.
Oh, done. I'm
and we're
done.
like-
I'm out skis.
Okay, they're like, so keep your dressing room door closed at all times. Your dressing
So
room
that
that
you're in
doesn't
a
have
sauna.
Yeah, your dressing room that doesn't have air conditioning.
Right, because
right.
why would you keep the
215
door
degrees at this
open to
point.
keep air in when
Right. Okay. There is no cover. There is no trees. So they have craft service tables that are just laid out, and the craft service, like the food on set, is like chips and a bag of carrots. Like
Sure.
it's just kind of
With
garbagey.
mosquitoes kinda
With-
already-
and
yeah.
bugs and shits everywhere. And you're like, okay, well, let's just get through this, right? I
no.
sit down at the table, and one of the heads from one of the business that was there, she turns and she goes, turns to me and the Asian girl, and she goes, "It is so cool that you guys, the two of you guys, are here today for this. It is so cool." And we're like, "Oh, why is that?" She goes, "Well, because I've never gotten to meet like social media people. So like, what's it like to be famous on social media?"
Oh my God.
Like that's how you make your living, is being famous on social media. And the girl goes, "Well, I have 1 million followers on Instagram, but he's an actor from a TV show and like movies and stuff." And the lady's like, "What? How do I not know this? Oh, I thought you were like that's what we would have given you more dialogue if we would have thought you could handle it. We just thought that you were," and they're saying this in front of the actors from the show that I'm a fan of, right? I'm like,
like
this now it's embarrassing. Like, like, oh, this is bad. It's getting worse. It's starting to get worse, right? They go, "So we do 8 hours of shooting on this in the sweat box,
infested.
Everything's gross. There's rattlesnakes.
8
You can
hours?
see the snakes. Like there's no one there to like move the snakes."
There's no
There
handlers.
should be a few commas
No
in your
handlers.
paycheck, bro.
Yeah, it is a fucking mess. And as the day is coming to an end, and these actors, these like famous actors, keep yelling out of the booth, "Hey, why aren't we? Why is the air still not on?" And they're like, "Yeah, relax." So long story short, they go, "Okay." I go, "Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we play a game sometimes called 20 Questions in 2 Minutes that we do on our live show, where I try to ask lots of fun questions."
It's kind of like
So I go, "So how about this? I will ask two of the biggest stars from the show. I will ask them some real questions. And then when I ask them, we'll put it on camera. I'll ask them these funny questions. You guys can just have extra content of me doing it. I get good tape of me interviewing really fun people. And then it's over, right? And that'll be the end of it." Okay. I go, they go, "Yeah, that sounds great." I go and interview these actors. Oh my God.
There goes the wine glass.
We knocked over a wine glass.
You're
It's
like
'cause I
my
was
mother.
trying to give him a wet willy, actually.
We can hear that on the microphones.
Oh yeah.
What you guys are all worried about, we can't hear, so don't worry about it. Keep going.
Oh yeah.
Keep
There's
talking.
just a bunch of kids yelling
keep
outside
talking.
because they're the worst people in the world. Children are the
Agreed.
worst.
Freaking children.
Anyways, here's how it ends.
I'm very excited for the ending.
The end is,
Oh no.
I tape the thing. I go, "Thanks so much. We're wrapped." They go, "Thanks a lot. You're wrapped. You're done." Everyone says goodbye to me. I go, I fucking get in the car with the producer lady that picked me up.
Who's taking you home?
Who's taking me home. They drive me an hour and 10 minutes out to where I finally get service again. My phone rings the second I get service. An hour, 10 minutes away. My phone gets service. I answer the phone. This woman goes, "Is this Stephen Glickman?" I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Why are you not on set?" And I go, "They wrapped me already." She goes, "Well, we need you back. We forgot to shoot something, and you're supposed to be here, and no one wrapped you." I go, "Yeah, this guy wrapped me. This guy wrapped
you
me,
said
and this
goodbye
guy.
to
You said
people.
goodbye. I shook hands.
guy who's taking
I was
me
like,
home
the guy who
wrapped me.
owns
I'm
the
in a
company
car.
saw me pack my bags up. I'm out, dude. I'm not doing this anymore." And they go, No, you have to. We need you. This last scene doesn't work if you're not here." I put the producer lady on the phone. She goes, "We have to drive back." She drives me an hour, 10 minutes back to the set. No joke. We get to the set. She parks. I go, "I'm going to go inside. You
Stop.
stay here." I walk in the door. The director looks at me, looks at the first AD, and goes, "Why is Steven here?" And the first AD goes, "You said you needed him back." And the director goes, "Oh, no, we already finished that part." "Stephen Glickman, that's a wrap on you."
Oh my God. I thought maybe they confused
And
me
I
with
was
someone
like,
else. Oh
I
my
go,
God.
You just had me drive an hour and a half back here so you could tell me this?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, sorry about that. All right, moving on." And I was like, the whole drive home, I was red-faced the whole way. I was like,
People be dicks.
They don't
man.
care about-
and it was so hot and so gross the whole time.
I
I was like,
mean-
this is the worst. This is probably the worst.
You know what I'd
day.
do if I was a boy?
What's that?
I'd pee on everybody. Like, that's the thing about being a girl
Just
is you
pee
don't
on
ever
people.
have these
You really
ideas
can't.
that, like,
You
you
can't
can't
squat
just, like,
and pee
whip
on.
it
You're
out
right.
and just, like, be peeing. But, like, if I was a dude, I'd just whip it out and start peeing on
That's
people.
calling showing dominance.
That's right.
That's a really good idea.
Next time,
I'm
you can
coming
use
for
it.
you, Acton, California. I'm going to show up
I
tomorrow.
will pee all
the whole
over
time.
I'll
those
be peeing
cacti.
all over them
Can't
cacti.
believe they did that to you.
Well, you know,
Believe they did that to you.
it happens. Sometimes this business is a real train wreck, and other times
It's super awesome.
Sometimes it's magic.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably what we should. Yeah, that's.
We should end there, probably.
No,
But,
I'm just saying that's true though.
It is very true. I did bring you guys one other present.
What?
Yeah, I know.
No,
Right?
Fireball's enough.
Oh, all right. Well,
I'm good with this.
I love Fireball.
No, we'll take whatever.
It is. It's good.
Kirby's like, I'll take it.
I'm like, sure.
You can't just take Fireball. You can't just walk down the street with a bottle of Fireball, or you will go to
Jail.
jail. That is true.
We got you a free trip to county jail.
A free trip for Britt Robertson and Kirby Bliss Blanton to jail. So we brought you.
Better be West Hollywood.
You're,
VIP, baby.
You're actually the first people to get these. These are the
Brand
new
new.
Fireball with. No, I'm sorry. These are the new.
You wanna try again?
Yeah, hon. You're the first to get these. These are the new nighttime show backpacks.
What?
There's-
Shut up.
Oh my God!
There's-
First of all, we just were talking about
Okay,
backpacks.
No, we're
This
both
is-
obsessed
Stop.
with them.
Okay, there you go. There, here you. Can
I want
take
this one. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my God, I'm so into
And
this.
then
Good.
this is the
Blue's my
Star
favorite.
Wars one with our whole cast on it.
Look how cool this is.
Oh my God, I'm really into this. You
And then
guys.
you can actually replace the panels.
Yeah, you can switch panels if you want to make them.
Oh, wait, should we?
you and
It's
I.
reversible.
At the no. You just open open it from the
Oh,
bottom.
okay, sorry,
Open it from the
sorry,
bottom.
sorry,
There you go, like a regular backpack.
I don't want to break it.
Oh my God, look how cute. And
What's
there's
so funny is we're gonna actually really use.
no, we're really
Well, you
into
always need a
backpacks.
good backpack, and these are very strong.
agree.
We use them for when we go to
put your actual
Comic Cons and
backpack
things like that. And
Do you like Comic Con?
I do.
You do. Which one do you go to? Which one's
I
your
go.
favorite?
I go to San Diego Comic Con.
Yeah, that's your jam.
Do you
I
go
go
to
when
that?
I have a movie.
No, I
to do,
haven't
otherwise
been
people
in
are
a
like,
couple
why are
of
you
years.
here?
You should go. It's fun. It's a fun, weird
Didn't we just
time.
talk about how like none of us like crowds and giant
She
groups
really
of people
doesn't. She
waiting
hates
in
doing
line?
press and stuff like
Look,
that.
I travel with a backpack.
Wow.
I'm now gonna put my backpack in
We
this
have to
new
get a
backpack.
picture with these.
Yeah, we will.
They're very roomy.
Wait, so Mike and Matt are on them too?
Yeah,
On that
on
one?
that one,
On the
Mike
Star
and
Wars
Matt
one, yeah.
are on the Star
Who's
Wars
the
one.
woman? I saw someone says the woman.
Oh no, that's Robbie. Robbie
Robbie's
Carlisle.
Princess Leia.
He's Princess Leia.
Who's have I?
Robbie does our live show, and we
Oh,
dress
got
him
it.
up in horrible
Britt and I
costumes.
should at some point we should come to the live show. I'd love to do that.
Yeah, you know
Is this not live, you guys?
this comes out. This comes out tomorrow, and then July 15th.
The first or second weekend? Which one is
July
it?
15th is our next live nighttime
okay.
show, and
Yeah.
the lineup is like Steve Agee from Guardians of the Galaxy is
Yeah.
on the lineup.
Chris Frangiola.
Chris Frangiola
No way, that's
is on
cool.
it. He's very funny. Asif Ali, who's
Love.
love him
Yeah.
on. He's on that show Wrecked
kinda
on
jelly.
TBS.
Yeah.
You can always come out, and if you are there and you want to play a game with us on stage, you're always welcome to come up. And
No
play
way,
a game
really?
with us.
So
Yeah.
if we
Games?
both came, could we play? Could we play a game together?
We can play 20 questions in
because
2 minutes between the two of you.
I think we know each other pretty well.
Yeah.
It has nothing
I
to
would
do
love
with
that.
us knowing each other.
We
Yeah,
could
it
do a
does.
trivia
Oh, it does.
question.
We could do
where
a trivia
abuse
of
Robbie.
who knows who
Stop
better.
playing with your broken wine
do that.
glass.
Yeah, we could do something
and
fun
just
with
abuse
Robbie.
Robbie when we do it.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
really into abuse.
Yeah.
I mean,
I like
what?
making fun of Matt
As
more.
long as it's not
I mean,
dogs.
live shows. Absolutely. Well, and then dearest Mike Black over here is the announcer for the show,
We should
and
switch back.
we always cause each other a lot of trouble. We
Later,
gotta
bitch.
wrap this thing up, but ladies,
Oh, come on, boys.
this has been too much fun.
So much fun.
We're gonna put our fireball in our backpacks.
No, we're
Yeah.
about to go get drank.
Do you have any social media that you use, Britt, or are you not on any?
Well,
of that
I got
stuff?
hacked yesterday.
So she's not engaged, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. I got hacked like hard.
I was the only person that didn't text her saying, "Wait, are you engaged?"
Who
Because I
hacked
knew better.
what?
Some guy.
What did they
I'm not
hack?
going to give him his name because he doesn't deserve
Mm-hmm.
the shout out. But
God.
but he's a famous hacker. And on Father's Day, I woke up to a slew of text messages saying, "Congratulations, you're engaged." This guy put up a photo of my boyfriend and said, "It's true, we are engaged."
Hashtag Brillin.
Brillin, which is apparently our
No
name.
one would ever say that, especially her,
Right.
Dylan.
Yeah.
But he got into all my emails, which is super fun, and all my social medias. So I've yet to get all of them back.
What were you? What did he get into? Do you have a Twitter?
Instagram,
and an
her
Instagram?
email.
Yeah,
she
I
got-
don't have a Twitter anymore. I only did my Twitter once recently for a friend who was doing a charity, Camp Nui Nui, save Camp Nui Nui.
Camp Nui Nui.
But yeah, I hadn't tweeted in 4 years, which I thought was really impressive until Camp Nui Nui got me. But yeah,
Worth
so
it.
I'm only an Insta person. But yeah, I'm
And do you
still
regret
doesn't
having a
post very
password of
much.
just password?
Yeah,
But
I knew that was
she's
a
on
bad
there and she
idea.
looks-
Got it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I love Dylan O'Brien.
Exactly.
What is your
So
Instagram
stupid.
for people that want to?
Oh yeah, it's Britt BRITTL.
For Leanna.
That's my middle name. Robertson, and it's all one word.
And what is your password?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh,
Capital
great.
6.
I love Kirby Bliss
Kidding, that
Blanton.
doesn't exist.
I love it. I love it. Kirby, what about you? What's yours?
Kirby Bliss on Instagram, and I do have a Twitter because I'm still into
Tweeting.
it. I'm still
tweeting.
You're still
Mostly about
doing
food
the
and
tweets.
retweeting Saucy coupons so that I can get $10 back if anyone uses Saucy.
Oh, nice.
That's
Oh.
why I use Twitter.
Oh,
And
wow.
for other Eat24
She likes
coupons.
wine.
And what's
that. I
your
get that.
what's your social security number and your mother's date of
It's
birth?
2, 4. Oh dang
My mom's
it!
Why
name
is that always
Bliss. Oh my
happening?
God. Matt Walker. He's
I would
so
be that
smart.
girl to like literally just say my because I'm so good with my
What if
social
we found out
security
Matt
number
Walker
at this point.
was your
The hacker? Are you?
What's it me?
Oh no. Mike
17-year-old
Black.
man.
Mike Black's social media is at Mike Black Attack
On everything.
on all social media, Twitter and Instagram and more. And if you're a big fan of toys, then
He's got you covered.
He has.
I'm
the
gonna follow
greatest-
you.
His Instagram
I'm really into toys.
is awesome.
Like
Yeah.
technology
Oh, cool.
choice wise?
No, like
Like He-Man?
action figure toys.
Oh, fair,
Oh, I was
fair,
like
fair,
sex
great.
toys. Just kidding.
That's my Twitter. My Twitter's all sex toys.
Well, if you think about it, every toy could be a sex toy if you try
Yeah,
hard enough.
very
Yeah.
true.
Figure out a
Depending on
place
how
to
you
put
use
it.
There
Samsung
you
Galaxy
go.
8. That's definitely could be a sex toy.
Yeah.
Yes, I have the 8 Plus. Whoa.
I only have the 8, and
Big
I
hole,
didn't
big
get it
hole.
for free.
Yes, I
paid
went
for
there.
it.
Matt, what about you? Where can people find you? on
You
the
can find
internet?
links to everything at funnymatt.com or Kirby can go hang out on mattwalkersucks.com.
You said that to me last podcast.
Ah, I love
Did you go?
No, because I love you. I don't or you don't suck.
Oh,
Oh,
maybe just a little bit.
a little bit.
You can always get me at Stephen Glickman, STPHEN Glickman on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. And then don't forget to subscribe to the Nighttime Show podcast. Leave comments and share with your friends. You two are angels among a world full of garbage.
Demons.
Thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Love you, Steve.
Thanks, guys.
Destiny